Hello, hello. Hey, Mysterious. Happy Wednesday. So, yeah, yesterday I did a bunch of stuff post stream, and man, I had this thought like, I was kind of talking about how AI is really good for doing grunt work, any boilerplate that exists. I think it's also good for ideation, and I want to be careful about where I use it for ideation. Something I tried yesterday that I wanted to do, but I don't want to spend the time setting up all the systems and shaders. And I did this for Botland back in the day, is recolor the player sprite here. So you can see here we've got these four colors selected, and the sprite looks pretty much like what you're used to seeing if you've seen this game before. But now I can click this and like change the shirt color and change the shoe color and yeah, change skin tone and hair color. And I think we should keep this in the game. I mean, we should probably make it a little bit better. But yeah, this is the kind of thing that I honestly, it did not take that long to just get AI to like, oh hey, can we get this thing to work? And my viewpoints and how I want to incorporate AI are kind of evolving over time. Like I said, I made this system way back when for Botland, and I've got it open somewhere here. Yeah, so if we go into this directory, and what is it called? Image cat? Yeah, so let's say we look at default. Whoops. Oh, what just happened? Image cat. Default. Whoops. Let's do this one. Okay. So here is the like roller foot graphic for it. And then there was a mask where we had two different colors that would tell you where to draw the primary color and where to draw the secondary color. And then you could set them for your bots, and then they ended up looking like this bot. So this has the blue stripe and the green eye. And yeah, that same thing is happening over here. So we have the basic character, and then we have a mask for that character denoting what is hair, what is shirt, what is skin, and what is the boot color. And then you can use different colors within those shades. So here I have dark red on the hair. I just drew this in myself. This is not supposed to look good or anything. But that dark red controls how much of the base color gets used. So here you see that even if I set this to like, yeah, even if I set it to black for black hair, you still see some whitish gray come through. And yeah, so that's what's going on here. The shade of red, the darker it is, the more of the base image gets used. So we still have ways of controlling this. There's gonna be an art burden to like hand draw all of these masks, which might be annoying. But yeah, this just got me thinking. Hey, Chili. Hey, TJ. This just got me thinking about like, I guess it kind of comes down to what can't AI do? What do I want to work on? And what does it mean to accomplish anything? And this, I think, has always been a question. This is like your what's your meaning of life kind of thing. And yeah, let's say there was a magic button. You push it, you get your next project accomplished in like 5 minutes. This might be fun to push like one or two or 10 times, but it's probably not fun 50 or 100 or 1,000 times. And let's just say there's no cost, right? No cost, no penalty, no trick. I sort of feel like I'm in this a little bit. I guess kind of everyone might be, although you might have different perceptions of what AI can do. And it's just strange because, yeah, originally I feel like, okay, if I wanted to make Skeleseller, it's not like a weekend project or something, and it still isn't. But yeah, I probably could have shaved off quite a lot of time. Is it worth doing that? Would I enjoy the process more? It's not just about the end of it. Hey, Nightlight. So these are thoughts that have been going through my mind. I don't necessarily need to like come to answers now. I just, yeah, I think I'm in this kind of weird state where I still want to do stuff, but every time I do it, I just keep thinking, man, I'm doing things the slow way now. Hey, Goose. I guess that's what it boils down to. Yeah. Every time I do something manually now, I feel like it's suboptimal. And I think that's my issue. And I want to write this down here because I think this is an important thought that I want to capture. All right, with respect to AI, like I could code something, whether it be boilerplate or something fun, but it's kind of the same reason I don't do math by hand when I have a calculator. I don't know. These are my thoughts. Hey, Rare Pony. Nice 75 streak. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we have a few things I want to do. I guess first thing is like wrap up the commit that I have outstanding and push the branch, and then probably, yeah, look at PRs and then switch back to my, I forgot what I even called it, create top-down shooter branch. All right, did I change anything interesting here? Yeah, so use RGB in the, oops, in the, Abby. She's like meowing from the hallway. Use RGB in the shader instead of hue. This should make it clearer how to disambiguate colors. So I'm gonna check this in, then push this whole thing. Yeah. Hey, Pickle, good morning. And then we're gonna go merge the PR. So Kevin made a PR. This is his first PR, I think, for Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Yeah. And I think it's just mergeable. It's 15. GHPR checkout. 15. Requires authentication. I mean, I should be authenticated. How did I just did something yesterday here? Maybe I switched accounts. Huh. Okay. Hey, Smack. Well, engage privacy mode. I don't know what this shows when I do this. So, yeah, let me see. Login. What do you want to use for this? Sure. Login with web browser. Press enter to open GitHub. Copy your code. Signed in already. Paste the code. Authorize. Yeah, I'm glad it didn't show this on screen. Okay, now we use the phone. Is it like GitLab where it expires after 30 days? I haven't done this in a very long time. I would definitely know if I did this once a month. And I used it recently, so I'm not sure. Failed to authenticate via web browser. What? Is GitHub down? What's going on right now? No. Sorry, give me a sec. I don't know what just happened. That's strange. It's not signing me in. Congratulations, you're all set. Your device is now connected. Then it says failed to authenticate. Unauthorized body, bad credentials. How is this even possible? I think I fixed it. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Strange. Okay, so it says no fast forward. So how do we pull after a force? I rarely have to do this. Get reset hard. Yeah, here we go. All right, so get remote dash V. Let me make sure this doesn't show anything secret because I've made that mistake before. So I need to add this as a remote or as an origin. Get remote add Kevin. Yeah. And then we just need stuck in a broken tutorial here. Okay, there we go. Hey, DevZone. All right, now we do this. So this is gonna be Kevin slash, what's the branch? Option. Oh no, it's the whole thing. I think that'll work. Ambiguous argument, unknown revision, or path not in the working tree. Wait, I now have Kevin as a thing, right? Yeah. What? do wrong? All right, well, remote name slash branch name. I guess let's do that. Get reset hard. No, wait, that is what I did. Huh. Wonder if branch names with slashes have to be done differently here? Ambiguous argument, unknown revision, or path not in working tree. Oh, maybe like get fetch. Aha! I did it. Okay, yeah. You may need to get fetch remote name if you've never pulled the branch before. Wait, that's not even possible. How would I never have pulled the branch? Oh, maybe I never added it as a remote, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we should be able to now check this out, right? So GHPR checkout 15. What is going on here? I'm like super mad at this. I've authenticated 3 times and it just worked up above. Requires authentication despite logging in. Have you tried authenticating? No, I haven't. Let me go try that. I need to stop using AI. Oh, this was closed probably a while ago because it's from 2024. Oh yeah, I did just restart my machine. All subsequent commands worked. The issue was fixed in this. Is a race condition. Hey, stats. Restart all consoles. Yeah, I could try that. Before I try that, let me paste this in so I can write this down afterward. So BTGHPR checkout 15. Okay. Well, that seems helpful. Troubleshooting. Yeah, right. Let's write this down. Requires authentication. 401 despite logging in. This happened after rebooting my machine. I tried doing GHPR, what, checkout? Yeah, checkout, and it said this. I logged in like 2 to 3 times, but it still didn't work. I needed to restart my terminal emulator, apparently. It may have been this issue, but I didn't look too closely. This issue being this one. All right, so now we got to fix this. So git rebase. Shouldn't I just be able to do this? BBD39B1. Is that the commit we left off on? Yes, as long as that's the newest one. Let's just make sure because I don't remember this. 3:41 p.m. Yeah, that is correct. Hey, David, good morning. All right, so then we're on the right thing. Let's go run this. So close all this stuff. Don't save. Yeah, let's go try this out. So we got to go into the farming game. And we got to go into where we talk to Sidekick. And then speed this up. I don't know if we've got some theming in here already. Let's take a look. Okay, so we have orange buttons. And now we ask a question. So let's take a picture of this. Paste this in here. Oh yeah, I had an idea. I gotta write this down. Write down my idea of having... What was my idea? I came up with it in the shower this morning. Like a pool of colors that you can choose from for customizing your character, the colors would then be adapted based on the base sprites. For example, maybe you choose the red color for your boots in the first game, but they don't look good in the farming game, so we change the red to be a different hue for the shader in the farming game. There could just be some palette lookup that happens. Abby, you want to come over? Yes, you do, cat. Yes, you do. Come sit down. Come. Come on, girl. Good cat. Okay. When each sub game gets initialized, well, actually, it's not even sub game. May not even be per sub game. All right, so anyway, we got picture number 1. So now I ask a question, and now this is how they answer. So, yeah. Yeah, this is looking good. So we have like an orangish with white text, orangish background with white text, and a bluish background with black text. So yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Now, the weird thing is these graphics are inside the same asset pack that we got here. They're these. So this color one, I think, and this color one. But they don't really look like they fit all that well. And maybe part of it is the font. But I think as long as we're consistent, it shouldn't matter too much. Yeah. So here's what I want to do. I want to go into option item and theme this according to, how do we do this? Type variation? No, we can't choose that. Maybe over here. Label farm. All right, so this just changes the text color. So then we need to change this one. This would be button farm. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Hey, Kevin. Speak of the devil. Thanks for the resub. Yeah, I was just looking through your PR. I think it's pretty good. I just wanted to look at the specific colors that we used here, which is not important at all. But I want to see, is there something maybe, I don't know, a better color than black? And I don't know what would be good here. Yeah, I don't know what would be good. I wonder if just a gray. No, nothing. I don't have any ideas. Maybe something slightly off black. It's the only thing I can think of here. Hey, Cuttlefish. Hey, Scholar. Had my yearly performance review this morning. Happy Wednesday. So it went well. Congratulations. Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, and I guess the other thing we could do is just use a different graphic from here. Because we have green, pink, orange. I mean, we could also just make different ones. These are not like so crazy for me to make or hue shift myself. Plus, we don't use any of the icons. So maybe white with a border is fine. Oh yeah, border would definitely look good on this. Or an outline, right? Yeah. I hadn't thought of that. So font outline. Let's just change it over here for right now, and then I'll do this a little bit differently in a sec. So we do this and then change the outline size. Yeah, so even something like this could look a little bit better. And then we just make it like a, maybe even a bluish outline. No, that looks kind of stupid. Yeah. Well, for a guy that took a 6-month web dev program all those years ago, only thing I'm lacking is in code reviews. I'm working on that. Manager even said that will come as I do more of them. Well, nice. Yeah, awesome. You got plans for a rhythm sub game like Guitar Hero? Could have it like Necrodancer where you do battle against existing mobs in the game? I don't know. You know, one of the thoughts that I've had is we've spent now about 2 days, like a day and a half on the top-down shooter. Maybe 2 days is fair. And it doesn't really look like a game yet. And every big game that I make is gonna have this same sort of like uphill battle. And then we just accumulate a bunch of to-do items and clean up stuff. Hey, Kyle. So I kind of want to switch from this to focusing on some more like single screen games that don't have a bunch of mechanics and they don't have like character animations. I think that's what's annoying about this stuff. Like having 400 character animations and switching between them. Okay, anyway, I like Kevin's suggestion here. I just don't know what to actually pick for this. Alternatively, I guess we could have it be like bluish text on with a different background. I think it's kind of bad to do this though. Yeah, I think this is not readable. Let's just set it back to like a dark gray. I think that's probably best. Yeah, so like 50 or 40, 40, 40. There we go. And then outline color can be maybe a little bit darker. Yeah, that might be good. Although if we're going to do that, then we should probably do that for the other one too. And I probably should have put these in the actual right spot. So default color, we got a copy value, paste it over here. Wait, you can't paste it over here? Maybe you have to click edit. Where's edit? There's a, okay, I guess you can paste it like that. That'll at least work. And then the outline color. Font outline color. There. And then finally the outline size. There. Okay, so I think it looks pretty good. Now let's go back to the regular one. So this one should probably also have an outline size on it of 2. And probably just be the inverted colors. Yeah. So copy this one, but use it as the default. Why is this not working? Hello? Hello? Oh, there we go. And then pick this back over here and use this as the outline. Okay. I mean, it's readable. And it's readable in both ways here. Like if we pick this, and I guess because we're using opposite colors, it doesn't really matter what the background is. You should be able to read it on anything. Hey, Washeros, migrating to Godot, we're testing. I mean, I've been on Godot for the last like 3 years, so we're not migrating. I'm just saying just a generic title for the people who haven't watched the stream before. Like this uses Godot. Cat's getting ready for the next 2-hour nap. Yes, she's cleaning herself right now. And hey, Cryptic Mind. Howdy, howdy, howdy. For those wondering who I'm responding to, there are some people saying hi on YouTube. Okay, cool. So I think we're pretty much done here. I can set it back to what it used to be, which is that. And then we can, oh, actually, I don't even need to do anything. It should have just taken effect over here. So now let's see. Okay, so gray was probably a bad choice because now it looks like these are not selectable. In fact, maybe we should, oh, and that looks pretty bad too, huh? Okay, well, I suck at this and very much do not like this process. So let's go more toward white with this. And over here, I think having it be, yeah, I think just a lighter outline is probably best. Let's try that out. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. Wait, does it? Why does that still look gray? It's not gray. Just because the outline is gray? RC1 is available now. Okay, yeah, I'll have to update. Yeah, it's because the outline is gray. Upgrade Godot to RC1. Oh yeah, no worries, Busheros, yeah. Seems you have a guest. Can you let the cat know how beautiful it's looking today? Love the colors. Yeah, she's very pretty. You're a good cat. You just got a compliment. Are you going to say thank you? She's not going to say thank you. I'm sorry. She's very rude. She doesn't know English yet. I've been trying to teach her. All right, let's restart this one more time and just see what it's like from the beginning. Settings, full screen, farming game, replay. Oops, whoops, I was supposed to look at that. All right, yeah, it's legible. That's all I really care about for right now. That is less legible. Yeah, I wonder if we should go back to, oh my God, this process should not be this hard. I'm just so bad at picking colors. All right, so auto pick label. I think let's set these up over here. And I think we should use white text. Because yeah, I just don't think this looks great. And then a dark outline. Maybe just that. Maybe just something that's just obviously visible. And we just do the same thing over here. Set this to black. There, done. Great. All right, now we set this back to you and to you. And go take a look in the game. I don't know. I still can't get this. Hey, Gabby, are you looking for something in particular with Git? This is a closed source game, so I don't have a public GitHub repo, but it is on GitHub. It's just a private repo. All right, so all I did here is change some colors. Change theme colors. Well, actually, I think all we did is outline the text. Make text more legible. I just outlined the text and change the color slightly. All right, done. Git push. Now it should be over here. Oh, by the way, I shared this on Discord, but man, I just happened to, okay, so I have this computer, this is my main computer, and I have my gaming computer. So I was working for a while yesterday, and I'm like, all right, I'm finally gonna just play some games and relax. And on there, I had this page open in my browser on my gaming computer. So I saw this post when it was half an hour old. But yeah, someone looked into this entire issue that I spent like a week on and added a bunch of details. And I think they got a little bit farther than I did. And they talked about a fix here too. And I'm grateful that other people are adding on to this. And I'm glad I filed this issue because yeah, then when people are searching, they'll find this and they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, yep. I'll just add my details onto this person's thing. So yeah, I hope this gets fixed. All right, we're gonna go merge this. Thank you for making the changes. Oh, I never looked through. I never looked through this again. Let me take a quick look. This file probably shouldn't exist. Yeah, this file probably shouldn't exist. Where is that? It's not here, is it? It is here. I don't think we want this here. Load div. Yeah, I don't think we want this. I don't think this should. We don't even have a solution folder here anymore. Yeah, I gotta delete this. Okay. Sounds like what they found is reasonable. Yeah. Yeah. I'm happy they took a look. Okay, so let's go delete this. rm that git status git add git status again. Just make sure I did that correctly. Okay, git commit -m remove unused writer file. Okay. All right, let's go take a look again. It should get updated. So, yep, there we go. All right, so button needs to be added. Looks good. The import needs to be added. Looks good. The TRES file we just looked through. This is fine. This is fine. Yep. Give value or default. String down empty. Okay. Yeah. Where is this dictionary located? Option item? Okay, that's good. Yeah. That's fine too. Yeah. I want to see how the subgame ID gets set, but this looks good. Actually, this code exists in a couple different spots, right? I wonder if we should make a function out of this. No, it is not in a couple different spots. Where did I see that give value or default? Hang on, let's close this so I can actually read more of the code. Button theme type variations? What is this one? Subgame auto pick button themes. Okay, that's fine. And then init now takes in the subgame ID. I wonder if we just pass in the subgame. This is a change for not the PR, but just for me to make at some point. Like, could subgame just exist and it has a public save system and an audio system and we just pass these around somewhere? I don't know. Hey, Phil. I don't think it matters too much. Can I use focus here because it'll erase the normal texture of the button? I think the hover texture is enough, and if needed, we can modify that. All right, let's take a look at that in the game. I just want to make sure. Hey, Franken. Yeah, so for those who didn't hear my kind of ramblings at the beginning of the stream, I talked about a couple of things, and one was like the impact of AI on my development, and this is, I think, the most important distillation of this, which is when I code by hand now, it's suboptimal. And then the other thing that I was thinking about that's been on my mind is this like feeling of being slightly overwhelmed. And, you know, sometimes the way I look at this is there's some kind of pressure or stress that arises from tasks that you have. Sometimes it's due to difficulty. Sometimes it's due to time pressure. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe there's some like risk involved. Like, let's say you were walking a literal tightrope. It's like, well, you could fall, you could get injured. That doesn't happen with computer tasks a lot, but maybe there's a risk to like a business schedule or something. Oh, hey, we might not get money if we make this choice wrong. So I don't really have the time pressure. Difficulty is definitely there, and risk, at least to the product, is there. Like, I could be making this game stupidly, and it might turn out to be bad, and people might not like it, and then it's like, well, there goes however many years of my time. But yeah, I don't really... I think in my case, it's actually arising from like quantity of tasks. And it just doesn't seem reasonable to me. I don't know if that's even how my brain is working right now, but I feel like sometimes all I need to do is go through this list and prune it down. And that just makes me feel better. So yeah, that's what's on my mind. So I hope we can do regular just game dev today. But if it doesn't work out that way and we end up doing something else because it's just been on my mind, then yeah, that's how that'll work, I guess. All right, so I want to take another look at this. Every time you choose not to code by hand, you forget something? You mean like you forget the skills of how to do it by hand? Because, yeah, that might be true. I think you don't use it, you lose it. But is it important to keep it? And yeah, that's kind of what I'm grappling with. All right, so we're just going to look at the theming now. This is good. I do feel like maybe those buttons should be green. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. All right, so ask a question, and now I want to look at the picking of it. Yeah, I think that's good. That one was interesting. I think it was already happening, but the panel container had a texture, so it wasn't noticeable. The way focus works by default is that it's overlaid on top of the button. However, there in the code you're replacing it instead. Yeah, I think what might be needed here, because isn't there focused pressed? I think that might be what we have to use. I don't fully remember if that's what it is. Where's the theme here? Wait, no, not on this buttons. Yeah, there's focused hover. No, that's font hover, excuse me. Pressed. Okay, too hard to read this. Font focus color. Where's the color of the background? Here we go. Focus pressed. I wrote something about this in my notes. Focused buttons. Common problem I ran into is buttons should have a focus state, but the button itself could be enabled or disabled. Oh, focus and enabled, not focus and press, I guess is what I was talking about. Yeah. All right, I'm not sure. Is code by hand really suboptimal, or is that just a misperception that the AI would do it good enough? It's hard to say. I guess part of what I think about, though, is there are a lot of refactorings that I would do that are straightforward enough and easy enough to verify. And I guess it's this kind of equivalent where you type something like "what are" on your phone and it would suggest "you." And by tapping that, you press once, but by typing out "YOU," you press 3 times. So it's 1x versus 3x on a very minor scale, and this doesn't matter at all. And who cares if you type out the word "you" for the rest of your life? But when it comes to lines of code, it's like, all right, well, now we are talking about like some formatting, some syntax, some amount of like, well, where does this go in relation to the other code? And then we start talking about like functions of code, and then possibly even classes of code or files of code. And now all of a sudden it's not a 1x versus 3x, it's like a 1x versus 500x or something. So yeah, that's what's been on my mind. I think it's important we can be 100% reliant on code generators, but why not? And I'm not really asking this as a devil's advocate, but like, I always kind of go back to mental math here. Like, we have calculators. How many people would do a calculation in their head at this point that's even like slightly outside of the norm? Like, if I say, hey, there's 50% off and this thing costs $100, yeah, you'll probably do that in your head. I don't think most people are going to reach for a calculator for this. But if I say it's 12% off and I'm just making up a number, like $689, now what I would do as a human is I'd round up to 700, then I multiply by 12. Okay, so it's $84 off. It's about $605. But that's an approximation, right? And most people probably aren't going to do that at that point. They're probably going to be like, well, I give up. I'm going to go to a calculator. And there's no real problem with that, right? And I recognize that you can't just simplify this down to, well, math. Well, sorry. Yeah, math is different from code, but yeah, still. At 100, I quit the internet. Well, then I gotta stop streaming at 99. Wasn't able to force the focus, which would be the real solution. I think you face similar difficulties at some point. Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking now is that we should probably have some comment in the game about this instead of just in GitHub. Force style box. And maybe we put it here. No, you can't. Can I just copy a link to this? Yeah, you can't force the focus style with textured control nodes. C, 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 href, or whatever equals this. Does that work? I hope that works. Let's see. If I hover over this. Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. There's no soul in code that's generated by an LLM. Every code written by a human has required some actual intelligent consideration. I mean, okay, if I take that as a valid hypothesis, what is the point in having soul in code? Like, they're logical instructions for a computer to follow. Add comment about forcing the focus style. Okay, let's push that, and now we can merge it. Hey, Zorb. Yeah, anyway, this has been on my mind. I think probably most developers would agree that in the last year or so, and probably in the next couple of years, AI is going to be a pretty hot topic that's affecting your work somehow, or other people's work, or your friends' jobs, or something like that. Like, it's the new thing to talk about. It's the new thing people are funneling money into. So however you feel about it, it's like, you're probably thinking about it. You might hate it, you might love it, you might be anywhere in between, but probably it's not just, well, I thought about it a year ago and it's just never come up again. Like, that's probably not the case. Maybe a survivor. Has a debate with my step uncle. Basically, I enjoy coding for the process and enjoy being able to do it myself. Whereas he just cares about where he gets, not how he gets there. Yeah. Love the end product and giving people what they like. Yeah, so I like the process too. I think there are a couple things that are confounding this a little bit, which is, one, in the world of circumstances that you live in now, you 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 draw certain conclusions. So like in the world where coding takes a year to make something good, you probably enjoy the process. Now, that assumption has changed. And now like code may only take a month. Now your circumstances have changed. You might realize like, well, my enjoyment didn't actually entirely come from the process. It's just that in the world where that was what you had to do, I might as well enjoy it. Maybe it turns out that you like some of the process and some of the getting stuff done. And I do think most people probably fall on that spectrum somewhere. And not everything I say is a spectrum is actually a spectrum, but if you have the like getting stuff done versus enjoying the process, they're not exactly opposites, but if all you care about is getting stuff done and your meter looks like this, then the process doesn't really matter. And if all you care about is the process, having the end result might not matter as much. So they're not polar opposites, but yeah. And I wonder if just changing an assumption here allowed people to realize, oh, I'm not where I thought I was on this spectrum of getting stuff done to enjoying the process. So that's one thing I think about. The other thing I think about is like why do you enjoy the process and how affected are you by competition? So as an example, like most of the is like super popular indie games took on the order of years to make. But now what if all the next couple of years of indie games were all made in a few months? And it's like, well, I'd like to make a magnum opus and have some crazy indie game out there. But to set out on a 5-year journey is just inherently risky. We don't live for so long that you get a lot of 5-year journeys in your life. So anyway, I don't know. I'm just rambling. If you don't enjoy the process, ALB is super attractive. Well, so the thing is, I did enjoy the process, and now I think part of what I enjoyed about the process, like I liked the process, I like being efficient at it, and now I don't feel as though I'm the most efficient means for typing code or producing code. Like I, as a human, am the most efficient means. Not like I, Adam, compared to other humans, but just like a human isn't the most efficient. Glad you brought the calculator analogy because that's exactly why we can't trust ourselves with basic math. No one does it anymore. Better check calculator. Yeah. I think there are two different concerns here that I'm trying to split a little bit. One is if you don't use it, you lose it. And this I fully agree with. And the second is if you don't use it, there may be a downside in the future. And this I don't necessarily agree with. And that's the part I was trying to talk about earlier. Like mental math is entirely replaced by calculators, right? It's not like, oh, well, there's some mental math you can't do on a calculator. It's like, no, it's all, you can do all the math you would have done in your head on a calculator. So is there a problem now with the people who are, they're in a grocery store and they're like, well, I don't know which price is better. There's 12% off this one and 14% off that one, but they're different base prices. And I don't know how to figure it out in my head. Not really, right? You just ask your phone, hey, which one of these is better? Multiply the numbers for me. Now, you might argue that this would lead to a decline in critical thinking or some related skill to mental math. But I think for most people, it's like, look, mental math is just not needed in the current day and age. And most people probably don't lament the loss of it. It's like a nice to have. And if you care about it, you can still do it. So that's kind of what I was talking about here, where like, if you never coded again, but still made software, would it be a problem if the software quality was the same? Now, I recognize this is doing some heavy lifting here for some people, but assume that this is true. Would this be a problem for you? And if you enjoy the process, the answer is yes, it would be a problem that you did. Now it's like, well, I'm not going to make software anymore, right? I liked doing it. It's like if we had fully automated cars and you enjoyed racing cars. It's like, well, I guess street races are different from like going to a racetrack. But yeah, you want some channel in which to do what you want to do, but the how you wanted to do it changed. Hey, Okason, and hey, Apressel. Did you have a guest today, Apressel? May only take a month, but do you make something good? Yeah. So a lot of this is based on these kind of hypothetical arguments that I'm making, because it's like, hey, if the whole indie game realm changed to people are turning out good games in a month, then good is sort of assumed in the eye of the beholder to be like what Terraria or Factorio is now, right? And we're not really in that period, so it's hard to say. Like Peak was made pretty quickly, but as far as I know, they didn't rely on AI for it. But yeah, so what I'm saying is, what if in the future Peak gets made, but it did use AI and it is a hit game and it catches on with everybody? 45 late times due must be 62. Sounds about right. Hey, Sato. Still good to understand why it's correct. Yeah. I think so. And that's where I say that mental math and code are two different things. So you still would at least need to have some understanding ability. Well, this is kind of true of any language. There's a consumption of that language and there's a production of that language. And typically consumption is easier. At least this is my opinion, probably most people's opinion. So let's say you're trying to learn French, you don't know French already. It's probably easier for you to understand someone else speak it than for you to speak it yourself, or understand writing in French than for you to produce those same words yourself in an essay. So I think the same thing's true for code. Like reading code is probably easier than writing code. I think you spend much more time reading code, and especially when it's stuff you wrote yourself too, like you might have a hard time. Well, there's too much kind of packed into reading code here, because it's not just reading a line of code. It's like understanding functions and how they connect together. It's like getting a robot to build a Lego kit for you. Yeah. And that's where it all comes down to, what is your motivation for doing anything, right? If your motivation is entirely the fun of doing the thing, then having someone else do that thing will not be fun for you. And that's where I was wondering, like, I have to ask myself, where exactly did I derive enjoyment, and how has AI changed that? And I like making games. I like manifesting creativity. I like coding to some extent. I guess we can just fill this in with like any given task in game dev to some extent. So like marketing, I'd probably rate a 1. Coding, I'd probably rate like an 8. UI work, I'd probably rate like a 4. I don't know, like game design, I'd probably rate like an 8 or a 9 or something like that. But if you had me do any of these tasks for too long, yeah, it wouldn't work out. Like, I'm not going to want to code for 5 years straight. I'm not going to do marketing for 5 days straight. So yeah, anyway, yeah. Once the skills are gone, companies controlling AI will have a monopoly, or token costs through the roof. Yeah, I think that as a macro trend, if that happened, you could always relearn the skills. And I think the question would be, what's your incentive, and have you atrophied your abilities to the point where you struggle to relearn? But as an example, if every single computer on the entire earth was just like knocked out and we just never had computers again, I don't think humanity would die out. Or at least not because of the lack of computers. Maybe if they controlled some, like, I don't know, flood control system and the town's flooded, then yeah, maybe we die out. But yeah, just by not having a computer and not being able to go on the internet, I don't think that on its own would be like, well, we just lost our survival skills. And it's like, no, we regenerate those. I enjoy the process because I can solve problems in my mind. Whereas with AI, it's like I'm just copy pasting a bunch. It's like, why do you enjoy basketball? Because it's fun to play. Yeah, and I think this is the classic argument we're talking about here, which is enjoying the process versus getting the result of the process. So playing basketball, for some people, might actually be a process for something like getting money or getting fame. It's kind of unlikely that that's your core reason for playing, because like, how did you even get to the point where you're good enough to make money or be famous? Probably you started by enjoying the game. So like, most of the time playing basketball is going to be for the process for most people. But coding isn't necessarily the same. Coding could be a hobby. It could be for fun for some people, but it could just be a job. I bet there are plenty of people out there who are just like, I code because it's what I studied and it makes me money. I don't necessarily enjoy it, but like, my life equation is good enough right now that I'm still doing it. And for those people, dropping the coding part of it would probably not feel like a loss. Hey, Illusionary Moon. Comparing the use of Gen AI to calculators and other tools is a bit disingenuous. I think it helps you establish that, like, certain traits of this. So for example, losing a skill permanently is bad. Here, the comparison is fine. Like, this on its own is not necessarily a problem. And the mental math argument is like, well, was it a problem there? So you can't conclude that universally losing a skill is an issue. I don't think you can say that they're one to one in every aspect, but at least in this aspect, I think they're pretty similar. It's an aid to what you do. Vibe coding's not that. You're offboarding your whole thought process. Yeah. So that's where we need to think of. So like, how does the quality change or the quality of the result change? And in those cases, yeah, mental math is something easily verifiable. There's no creativity in it. So in that sense, it's not along the same dimension. I don't agree that critical thinking is a skill. I think it's a skill. I think you can develop that. I think you can. I mean, this is like in school. I remember we would get, I think it was in like English class, we'd get a paragraph, or maybe it was math. I don't remember. We get a paragraph of text and it'd say something like, Bob has 6 apples. Bob has a yacht. Bob really likes driving cars. If Bob gives 3 apples to Alice, like how many apples do each of them have? And part of the issue here was like, you figure out, whoa, like this stuff doesn't matter. And I'm thinking back to like elementary school, and you'd cross out the stuff where it's like, oh, well, this is irrelevant to the problem. That's a skill you're developing. Like, you're figuring out what part is relevant and what part isn't. I think that's part of critical thinking, is being able to analyze and reject information or look for other information. So yeah, I think it's a skill that you can develop. And I think if you took an average person who you thought had bad critical thinking skills and like ran them through a regimen of trying to teach them, they'd probably improve over the course of however long. Hey, Bombs. Hey, Magnus. Beating others automatically made me think of cheating in video games. Why do you enjoy video games? They're fun, and there's that group of people who will cheat to win because winning is fun to them. Yeah. And again, at the end of this, I think almost separate from any conversation we've been having so far, I still think it always comes down to like, why are you doing the thing you're doing? So like, I play video games. Why is it? It's like mostly for fun. It's partially socializing. It's probably partially like overcoming a challenge. It's probably partially escapism. And you might weight each of these things, like fun might be an 8, and or maybe we say them as percentages, like this, and maybe this is 10%, and maybe this is 10%, and maybe this is 5% or something. And yeah, if you found out that there was some like hyper realistic ultra reality game, it's not even AR, it's just like a brain chip, your brain's just simulating this new world, it might be like, whoa, this just shot up to like 95%. Turns out I didn't even really care about this before, but now that it's hyper realistic and I'm like in a fantasy world and shooting a bow and arrow at somebody, like, wow, the escapism just went off the charts. So like, this is where I'm saying you might have an equation for why you do something now, and then something comes over and confounds that, like I said, some hyper VR, and it changes your equation. I think that's still kind of core to this. Hey, Leo. Hey, Granny. You get better at critical thinking if yes, and it's a skill, which I think it is. And hey, DY. Former participant of CSGO cheating. Oh, wow. What a thing to admit. It's literally hacker versus hacker servers. Yeah, that quite literally changes the game. Had some questions in similar style. Really easy solution. You just have to pick out all the stuff that isn't relevant first. Yeah. And I mean, on an exam, it's different. I don't think exams are there to teach. I think they're there to test. But yeah, and prepping for it, you could learn that. Hey, Kaiman. Not getting confidence in coding, please help. Excuse me. I think that 1 year is not necessarily a long enough timeline, but I would still say look back at 1 year ago, like, and just ask yourself this one question: what can I do now that I couldn't do then? And if you have any answer here, then you've improved. And if you don't, I would argue that you haven't thought for long enough. There's almost no way you could do something for a year and not have improved in some way. So like, it's just a matter of bringing that to the forefront of your mind so you can appreciate it. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, you slacked off for a year or something and there truly isn't anything, in which case that's still a learning. Like, maybe coding isn't right for you or something else. I'm at 5 years on July 4th. This year I can confidently say is the first year I've been gaining confidence. Yeah. So I think it's a long process. Look back at 2 months ago or 6 months ago. Probably there was a problem that you struggled with where you'd be like, yeah, why was that hard? And that means you've learned. Yeah. Learn how to launch Claude with 78% success rate. I didn't mean to say it's not a skill in the definition of the word. I meant to say it's not the same thing as using a calculator. You can learn to use a calculator just by using instructions, and then you can learn or improve your critical thinking in the same way. I think you can. I just think those instructions had to be different. Like I said, think of what goes into critical thinking. It's part of figuring out what information you need, connecting pieces of knowledge. I think at some point, critical thinking borders on intelligence, and I don't know if you can improve your intelligence. But I mean, like, logic is a subject that can be taught in schools. I think logic is part of critical thinking. But yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm not understanding the delineation here, because I think you can learn critical thinking. Or as a teaching assistant, help me realize how much I've improved over, since doing your degree. Concrete stamp of it in my Steam profile. No, I think it's fine to talk about it. It's just a lot of people online that I've seen have been like, oh, I would never cheat. And then they get caught for cheating and they're like, that wasn't me, or I didn't install that program on my computer. Yeah. Yeah, though, truly typical. I highly recommend just asking yourself this question. Like, reflect, take 5 minutes out of your day and just go look back. What code did you write a year ago, or what emails were you sending a year ago, or I look at your GitHub commits or something like that, and just say like, would I do this the same way now? Because like that amount of validation, I think, is really important. Yeah. Hey, Fallen Great. I never installed that program on my computer. Yeah. Recent podcast, he talks about default yes devs and default no devs, and how companies need both types of devs. Yeah, I think that effect is probably there. See, the thing is, my last like corporate job ended in 2023. I would say like AI wasn't huge then. So I don't have firsthand personal experience of AI in corporations. But I have friends who work in corporations, and I've heard from them. And yeah, they support that idea that you just said, Stats. Yeah. All right. So I merged this PR, didn't I? Yeah, merged. So now I should switch back to my old branch and probably pull in main. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, I'll pull in main. All right, so git check out this. Git pull origin main. There shouldn't be any conflicts here. I find that a little, whoa, what? Oh, those aren't conflicts. These are the conflicts. Oh, I hate this process. All right, what are we looking at here? Maybe I should have just merged. Yeah, let's just discard this. All right, what are we looking at now? Yeah, good. All right, so GPOM. No rebase. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think we should be fine now. Let me go try this out. We are not fine. Missing subgame data for the following IDs, none. Oh, Kevin added in subgame ID none. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a none get added somewhere. It might have been here. All right, so where's that coming from? Missing sub game data. Yeah. So this should be enum functions dot get valid values subgame ID. Okay, I think that'll fix this. Does it work? Does it work? Does it work? Oh yeah, we got it. All right, so here's the progress that we had from the last 2 days. You can shoot an enemy, they will start to track you. You can shoot them 4 more times and they'll die. And if you get this potion, I think, that gives you one-shot kills. Yeah. And if an enemy gets to you, I just coded this yesterday after the stream, it'll say game over, and then it'll just restart immediately. So yeah, that's what we have in terms of our game loop. You do keep your power up, so I am still one-shot killing things. So the next step we're going to do is go code the rest of the power-ups. So this is done. I think I want to talk about the colorization stuff in the afternoon, maybe. Man, there's some tough problems. And one of the meta problems that I have is I'm not really sure about the impact of some of these things. I was talking about this earlier where I really like this effect. Where is it? Okay, so here we go. So I have different like mask inputs that you can just ignore that though. Just look at this. Like her hair color changes and you can have a color slider in the game to do this. I think this is cool. I think most people like this idea because you can always ignore it if you don't like it. And if you do like it, well, now you have the option of customizing how your character looks. The problem is every single sprite in the entire game that represents a player now needs to have a mask for it like this. So not only do we have the base graphic, but now we have a mask identifying like which are the pieces of the sprite that represent clothing versus boots versus skin versus hair. So is that worth it? Like the one benefit is the player can customize their colors. And the downside is every single player sprite needs an extra .png. And it's not even that. It's the and someone needs to make that. It's not like just storing in RAM is the problem. That I don't care about. Yeah, Ali. We tried the beginner's guide. I remember many, including me, citing it as inspiration during the brainstorming stream. No, I will not be trying it either. I try to avoid games that are similar to mine so that I don't get influenced by them. So maybe after I'm done producing the whole game, I would give it a shot and be like, oh, cool. Yeah, maybe it would have been cool to do this in my game. But otherwise, I like to not be influenced by other games. I had an idea just now as I was typing this stuff out. What was it? Oh, yeah, save slots. There's another shower idea that I had this morning. A rendering of your character with the colors you chose. Maybe the character could even look like the latest sub game you ended in. That'd be kind of cool. Also, that shouldn't be too much work because we should have all those sprites and it should just be an idle animation or something. So this is still... Wait, what? How do we end up on a gray screen? Oh, because I started it through Godot. Yeah, and presumably this just wasn't set up yet. Yeah. All right, so yeah, upgrades. I have to get Abby to leave so I can go take my break. And then we're coding upgrades, Abby, okay? Hey, meow meows. Will you get up? She's so relaxed. This cat. I have to take my break now, cat. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. And hey, web dev, close the game. All right, it's upgrades time. Oh yeah, well, let's first fix this issue time. We just did. So fix issue in subgame data. Now that we manifest to none, we have to ignore it when it comes to validating data. Did I code it with AI? No. I made that on stream, not by hand. Probably like that if you had one. Yeah, Xyletics has been trying to get me to get a mounted cat bed for a while now. And my only concern is that if she doesn't like it, then I got to go return this thing. And I just don't like returning things. It's not even that bad. But yeah. Okay, so add power-ups. So we got power working. We need defense working. This stuff really shouldn't be that hard. Top-down, shooter, upgrade, stats. All right, so defense should start at... I mean, let's just code it. Let's think of the balance later. Let's set defense to 0 at first. How about that? That sounds pretty reasonable. All right, that doesn't need to be initialized then. So then when it comes to using it, let's go find this. So stats.power, we'll do stats.defense. Defense. Okay, so the plus 100 is kind of stupid. We should do maybe plus 10. Defense should be maybe plus 1. And then, what else are we going to do? Power equals stats.power. Why do we even do this? This seems kind of stupid. We should just have a public... We should store a reference to these stats in there. Do I want to do that? I think so. I'll take it from you if she doesn't like it. She will. All right. I'll write it down. Desk mounted cat bed. What do you think about the new rounded corners in Rider? Hey, Stybo. I do not notice these things. Do I have it? Are you talking about like this? The outline is a little bit rounded? Because I don't remember it being a rectangle. So yeah, I just don't really see those things. With that said, now that I'm looking at it, I don't mind. It doesn't really make a difference to me, I guess. All right, so public top-down shooter upgrade stats. I don't know how I want to do this. Do I want a reference to this? Do I want to just get a reference to what's in the save system? We initialize this by setting power equal here. Yeah, apply upgrade stats. What if we just didn't? What if we just used what's in the save system? Then anytime it changes in the save system, we would need to update the player. I think it'd be okay. They changed it this week. Yeah, I hadn't seen. Yeah. Like I said, I don't really mind. I think what I care about the most is, are there any workflow breaking bugs that I have? So every once in a while, I use this. Oh, here's the bug. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pressing Command R and it's doing literally nothing. And in order to fix this, I need to restart the IDE. I hate doing this because my scenario is, oh, I want to navigate to a function. So I press Command R. Then it doesn't work. And now instead of accomplishing my scenario, I need a context switch and restart. And then remember, okay, wait, what function was I looking for? So now when I press Command R, it opens this menu. I don't know why it doesn't. Okay, well, now it's not even populating the menu. Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah. So yeah, without this menu, it's like, it becomes so much harder for me to just navigate code because this is how I go to between functions and yeah. Oh, it's just your theme. Okay, I see. Yeah, I haven't noticed a difference or anything. But I probably wouldn't have noticed even if it had just come out today. All right, so we have the save system here. It's inside what? Subgame? And player doesn't get initialized with that? Wait, does player not even have an init function? No. I think we should do this. I think this makes the most sense to me. Upgrade stats, stats. Stats equals stats. Cool, so now we don't need power. We could save this there. You don't upgrade your life though. If there's one menu open, you can't open another. Maybe there's a hidden one. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that is true. I should think about that sometime and see if that's the case. So yeah, I think I'm gonna code this, but then I think we need some like cleanup just for this. Should maybe be renamed to just stats. And we should include life there. I think keeping these things bundled together is a good idea. All right, well, let's go set this stuff up. Init, so we have that. We don't actually call this yet. We initialize this here, so player.init save system stats. These need to persist across restarts of the top-down shooter. They don't technically need to be in the save system. Yeah, man, there's like an endless amount of potential little changes we could make to this. And it's not going to be clear which ones we should make until we've made a lot more games. So having an extra 5 integers or whatever inside the save system, even if they're not in the current game, is not a big deal. But yeah, if we have like 50 games and we're storing a bunch of data and you don't really need it after you've already played the game, then we probably shouldn't be storing it in such a persistent way like that. Then again, I haven't coded save slots, so I don't know what we'll need to save and when. Like, should you have to beat this entire game in one go? The top-down shooter? It might only take 5 minutes. So I don't think it's asking too much. I think where saving becomes an issue is if your minimum playtime to do anything meaningful is more than about 15 minutes. Because I think that's roughly what Stardew did. Stardew Valley days are probably 15 minutes of real time. Again, I don't really know for sure, but I don't think you can save in between day boundaries. So your options were pretty much like end the day and lose the potential from the day, or lose your progress up until that point, or leave the game running. That was it as far as I know. Now, if you were on a Switch or a Steam Deck or something, then you could turn off your system at least. But if you were just on a PC, and I guess you could probably put it to sleep. All right, so now let's apply saved upgrade stats. We don't need to do anything here. Yeah, this has no reason to exist. So we delete this. And I guess we don't need to do anything special here either. Which also kind of means we don't need this function to exist from here. We could just modify stats directly. Oh, this is on the upgrade itself. We could have put this on the player. I'll write this down. Upgrade has logic for the player entering. I wonder if it should be reversed. Then the player could just apply the upgrade directly to their stats reference. All right, let's go back to stats. A reference to stats in save system. Actually, I want this to be a doc comment. Reference to the same stats in... Which almost makes me think we should just give this thing a reference to save system directly. And that way we don't need to keep these things in sync with one another. As long as the save system doesn't change, we should be fine. Yeah. I think it's a smarter idea. Hey, Maya. Happy Wednesday. All right, all right, all right. Let's do this. I'm getting to a good system here. Save system, save system. All right, save system, save. Cool. Now we go change the init over here so that we just get the save system. Apply saved upgrade stats, doesn't matter. This is fine for now. Let's go back over to here. Now, anywhere we use stats, so this just says power. I'm going to go make a property here. Top stats, stats. Okay. Now, instead of just accessing power, we can do stats.power. Came back home from college. How you doing? I'm doing pretty well. We've been working on this top-down shooter for the last couple days. I can show you in just a sec. I just need to finish coding defense. How are your 2 weeks? All right, so take damage, and the player needs to be life minus. We need to pass in how much damage we're taking. Where does this get called from? Take damage. Let's just say int monster damage dealt equals 20. Monster damage dealt. Take damage, int damage dealt. Okay, so we're going to modify damage by defense. So damage dealt equals math.max 0 damage dealt minus defense. And that should do it. So now which color potion is a defense potion? I don't know, whatever. Let's just run this. I think I made it blue. I think that makes sense in my mind. Blue for defense. Yeah, look, we got 3 of those too. That's pretty nice. So we have 0 defense. Now we have 1, 2, and 3. And that means when we get hit, we'll see our life drop to 83. It's going to be very fast. Yeah, nice. All right, cool. Hey, Miyazaki. Yeah, and you still have 3 defense. So now if I walk into this again, and this is where the fun of the game is starting to emerge, because we're not going to tell you that your defense carries over, but you could just look at your health bar and see. So now I have 4 defense. If I get enough of this, I'll become invincible. Yeah, and it's taking longer to kill me. But we need those blue potions to show up. Yeah, there are 2 more. Yeah, so now I think I can live through 1 more attack. And if I get the red ones, then I will kill enemies in 1 hit. Yeah. I want to get 1 last blue one. I gotta make it so that you can run in this game. Okay, feels pretty good. 10 months straight in first year of college. Kind of felt strange when I came back. After a few days, kind of felt strange, maybe due to change of environment. I think it's a very dynamic time of your life. And I think that I remember at least one of the things that was difficult for me is that there were people I talked to in high school all the time. And as soon as we all went to college, it's like they just stopped existing. And I remember trying to make an effort with some of them and they just didn't really care. So I think that's one of the key moments in your life if you do end up going to college where it feels like a distinct before and after. Or at least it did for me. You know, poison them when they try to eat you. I forgot what green does. I think it's movement speed. I just haven't coded it yet. But that's the kind of thing we're about to code. So how should movement speed be done here? Player. We have a speed somewhere. Yeah, here. Speed 50. Maybe each point of movement speed is like 5 pixels per second faster up to a certain limit. So 50 plus stats.movement speed. And then over here, when you get movement speed, we do plus equal 5. All right, now what are the other ones that we have? Fire rate. Okay, fire rate I haven't thought of either. Maybe it's like 0.1 each time. Fire rate plus equal 0.1. Oh, we could just say plus equal, I don't know, 10 or something, or 1, whatever. And then over here where we figure out your shoot cooldown reset, this is going to be this minus stats.fire rate divided by 0. Or times 0.1. We don't need parentheses for that because of order of operations. And then we need to probably limit how many of these you can get. So your fire rate can't exceed, and let's just cap it over here. Math.minimum, or actually maximum, right? Of 0.05 and that number. And then same thing for movement speed. I don't know what the max movement speed should be. So math.min max movement speed. Yeah, this is what we should do. Yeah. All right, so private const int max movement speed equals, I don't know how many pixels per second can be moving before it's too fast. Maybe that. And then minimum fire rate is 0.05. Oh, that F shouldn't be there. And then what else do we have in terms of power should not be capped, defense should not be capped, and luck. Luck, we're just going to do +1. Cool. So let's just print out all your stats every single time. Or maybe you collected upgrade type stats plus stats. All right, let's try that. The video is fuzzy. What resolution are you watching under? Most of my friends are still college friends after plus or minus 10 years. Yeah, I have a few high school friends still. And I guess fewer college friends. A couple of them were very bad about keeping in touch. Despite me directly asking them many times. Like, hey, please call more. And they're just like, no, I don't think I will. So now we're not in touch. Hired on my first year in college as a mid-level engineer. Thanks to a programming assignment. They didn't care. That was only 1 year in. Ended up ditching college to focus on work. There's work, and side projects. Be so for the coming decade. Are you okay with that? How do you feel about that? All right, so yeah, this does not actually print out the specific stats. We need a toString here. toString. I think you can have it generate a toString for you. Oh, well, I guess you could just do that. Yeah, I don't need these math.maxes here. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, let's try that. Yeah, Watchdog, I don't know if you heard me. What resolution? Oh my God, I can't type. Are you watching in? Well, let's see. You collected defense. Yeah, so there should be a period or something there. It's not like the player's going to see this, but still. All right, so I can collect this. That's power. This is luck. So this one's luck as well. So now we can kill them in 4 hits instead of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And we die in 6 hits instead of 5. Yep. Luck doesn't do anything yet. We'll probably make that actually work soon. What is this? Oh, movement speed, right? So I should be moving a little bit faster. Yeah, I want to try this out for just a little bit. Yeah, but Watchdog, without changing the resolution, what resolution are you at? What is it set to? Is it set to auto? Is it set to 360? Because if you have it set to the source, which is 1080p, then it should look fine. If you have it set to auto or anything that's not 1080p, it's going to look fuzzy. That's just how resolution works. All right, fire rate should also have a change here, and that's these potions. So if I shoot, this is what we're shooting at now. And if I get this, Okay, that's way too fast. It wasn't supposed to be that fast. Oh, that is pretty fun. If I get this, we get more movement speed. Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I like this. All right, so we gotta go change how fire rate works. Stats.fire rate times 0.1. What did we start at? I think I meant to do times 0.01. Yeah, I did. Or maybe times 0.02. Well, I don't know, actually. Yeah, that worked out okay. Awesome, yeah. All right, so defense done, fire rate, movement speed done. Luck, we have not totally finished yet. So probably just a number 0 to 100. We call percent chance when killing an enemy, and if it hits, we drop an item for you. And what did I say? When an enemy drops an item, we probably don't want you to be able to collect it immediately. It doesn't really matter. All right, so where do you kill monsters? Let's search for game source, sub game, top-down shooter, queue free. Monster on 137. Yes. All right, so they should be able to drop an item. So maybe we have a signal here: public event action question mark died, and then we invoke died here. And then in the top down shoot, why is that gray? Oh, just because I didn't use it yet. Yeah. Top down shooter monster died plus equal on monster died. Good. All right, so we're gonna roll your luck stat. So bool get item, or like should drop item, is equal to stat computation. Do we have a percent chance function? Did I add this? I did. Random.shared by dot percent chance. Yeah, random.shared dot percent chance save system dot stats dot luck divided by 100. And if we should drop an item, then we make a potion for you. And we need to instantiate it here with on upgrade collected. This is further reason why this is probably a bad idea. Yeah, I gotta think about that. Oh, my work is in game dev. Sorry, I missed that. So I'm doing what I love. That's good to hear. Yeah. My lead, I work as a senior gameplay game UI programmer nowadays, said he was in the same position as me. In some ways, it feels nice to know I'm not alone. Also feels like there's a risk I never pick it back up. That's what he did. Wait, pick what back up? Oh, college? Oh. I think you have to ask yourself the question, what does it mean to you to have a college degree? Because if you've been working for 6 years, it's not like you need it for the work, or at least presumably you don't. I mean, maybe you want to get a PhD or something so you can get different jobs. But otherwise, it's like you're already effective on your job. You're doing side projects. You're probably... The way I look at college for most people is it's just structured learning. And it's not anything like unique or anything you can't do on your own. The one case I think where that's a little bit different is it's you have other students and you have teachers as resources. So you might not be in a position where you know people who can teach you the material you want to learn. In which case, yeah, maybe college is a good idea. And also, you're probably never going to be in the same environment where everyone around you is trying to learn mostly the same stuff. To different levels of seriousness, of course. But otherwise, if you have some discipline, some dedication, you could learn practically anything on your own. I guess there's a question of how, if you're learning it sort of correctly. All right, I really need to make an instantiate thing here. Do we have a rider section again? I'll just put it in my backlog for now. Rider, make a, what's it called again? They're not snippets. They're live templates out of instantiating a node. Don't care about the degree per se, more about getting the knowledge base. I was reading a totally different program, applied physics engineering. Don't know how to translate it. And in that regard, there's still lots I can learn, can and want to learn. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will say this, there are a lot of routes for doing that if you want to. Like you could always do night classes, you could do online classes, you could find pre-recorded lectures from a university who's made that public. I guess if you don't have the energy, that a lot of those things can be difficult to do. And some people take like a year off of their work or 2 years off. I had a friend who did that recently. She quit her job and went back to school. And I think she was glad that she had done it. I think it's off the beaten path enough where you have to have some confidence in what you're doing. Otherwise, it might be jarring if you're like, well, all the other students are like, whatever, 7 years younger than I am. I think that can be jarring for people. All right, so we go make an upgrade. I don't even know where you put this. Scenes, subgames, top-down shooter. Scenes, subgame, top-down shooter, upgrade. All right, instantiate it in as an upgrade. Then there should be an upgrade node. Yeah, add child, upgrade. And I think we need now a couple of extra things. No, this is already done, so that's fine. So we just need to listen to its on collected. I think this is kind of dumb to the point where I probably shouldn't be doing this. I should probably be creating them in here. So yeah, maybe we should do a create random upgrade. Good. Then put this there. Good. Then go make a bunch of these. So this can just call create random upgrade. Oh, and position it. Right. Position it at the monster. So we need the monster here. Monster, monster. Monster, global position. Vector to position. Whoop. There we go. All right, so on died, pass in the monster. This. And then what do I want to do? I want to create these at the beginning. Yeah, around the player somewhere. So let's go into the top-down shooter. You know what I really want to do? And this process semi-excites me here a little bit, but like I want to figure out how creating new sub-games goes from a pattern level. So we spent the last 2 days doing honestly kind of boring work setting up the foundation. And now that we're talking about upgrades and like dropping, upgrading stats, dropping potions, getting more of the just gameplay stuff. I think the gameplay is the most fun. I think setting up a tile map for the 40-second time is not that much fun. And if I know what this pattern is, if I'm like, okay, well, it's 2 days or 5 days of like super boring work and then 5 days of fun work and then a bunch of polish, then I can brace myself for those couple of days of boring work. So yeah, I got to think about that some more. Try to become smarter, invest my money. Made some poor mistakes there in the past. Yeah. Man. Sorry, I have a lot of internal thinking going on right now. All right. I'm going to delete all this. Yeah. And where are these roughly located? Like 103, 138. Okay, we'll just pick a vector from the player, randomize it, rotate it. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let's do that. All right, so for int I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make create random upgrade, add a position. The position is going to be the player's position plus vector2.right times random.share.next single. Turns floating points greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1. Yeah, this times 360. But it's rotated by that. So float random angle. All right, so this dot rotated. Rotated takes in radians, I think. Yep, it does. So math dot degree, no, math f dot degrees. Yeah, random angle. And then multiply that by some distance away. So I'm going to put a circle of potions around them. And hopefully that works. Let's go try it. You guys boring until it finally works? Yeah. Oh, what happened here? What did happen? Why is it complaining about this? Parenthesis expected. Oh, yeah. Whoops. All right, so we should see a bunch of potions. Yeah, nice. Check that out. And now when we kill an enemy, there's actually a 0% chance that they drop a potion until we get the yellow potions, the luck potions. So now we have 2% chance for them to drop a potion. Let's go get all these other ones too. All right, so no potion from you. No potion from you. But that's okay, because if we die and we come back, and we'll get more luck this time, hopefully. Yeah, there are a couple ones over here. I'll just get all of them, whatever. We'll kill enemies in one hit now. Oh, no, we won't. Apparently that was not a... Oh, no. Power potions, I just nerfed them. All right, well, now we need to die, because otherwise we can't restart. Or just keep buffing our luck until we finally see this code work. Or maybe I didn't even... No, I did do it, right? No potion from you. What about you? No. Or maybe they're getting created and they're just in the wrong spot completely. I can move way faster with a D-pad. I had to be careful about getting too many of the blue potions or I'll become invincible. And then I can't restart the game anymore. I do want the green ones, though. They make me move faster. And actually, I guess I want the fire rate ones. I didn't get there. All right, get those. Get all of these. I'm moving pretty fast now. I can outrun. I think I can outrun the enemies. No, I cannot. It's not like that. I still have not gotten a single potion to drop from them. What is my luck stat? 8. So I have an 8% chance. All right, I think this is taking a little too long. Let's get all of these and all of these. Moving pretty fast now. Still no potion drop from them. I know I could just... Oh, there. It dropped it. All right, I should probably drop it as soon as the animation starts. Yeah. I think that will look a little bit better. And I think it would look better like shooting out of the enemy. So it's not really... Well, I guess it is kind of this. So where do we play the death animation? Here. Get animation name. Don't we enter the dying state from somewhere, though? Is dead. Yeah, so if was dead and is dead, then died. There. All right, should your luck stat go up faster? Maybe. It's just it's kind of exponential growth. The more your luck stat goes up, the more you'll get potions, which will make your luck stat go up faster. Everything else felt pretty good, though. No, wait, no. How's power going up? Power should maybe go up by 5 or something. Yeah, power plus equal 5. The other thing we should do here is instead of just making 10 potions, we should make 20 potions. And we should not randomize the angle. We should just do 360 divided by num potions equals 20. Num potions. This. And then, yeah, rotate them all. And put them a little bit farther away. And then I want to go make more enemies. I'm just going to manually put them in for now. So put one of you there. One of you over there. Let me go up there. Maybe down there. Over here. All right, this is going to make it really hard to get the potions. You drop double the amount of potions. Oh, we could make it work that way, but I think at that point you'll already be like super powerful, so it won't really matter. Oh, that didn't work because I forgot to multiply. Oh, wait, no, I didn't forget to multiply. What happened here? Oh, I need to, yeah, I did forget to multiply. Yeah, we should see a circle of potions. Nice. Look at that. It's beautiful. All right, so let's get all the luck ones and not, I don't want any of the power ones. I also want movement speed. No, 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 no. I couldn't get there fast enough. That's fine. It'll produce a new circle for me. And if we get all the movement speed ones too, then we can maybe get to the point where we're outrunning these. Not yet. We are not. All right, there are 2 movement speed ones. Nice. There's a bunch of luck ones. We can now, I think, outrun the enemies. Yeah, I took some damage there. I didn't get any other stats. I'm gonna die. I mean, we probably could like turn around and shoot him and then just run away. Oh, nice. It dropped a potion. Oh, another potion. We're getting much luckier this time. All right, I want to get the luck. I want to get the fire rate. Nice. Is there a max value? Yeah, there's a max value because I did think of that. It would be a shame. All right. I don't want to make temporary upgrades because kind of the gimmick of this game is that we act like the upgrades are not permanent, but they really are. Oh, I died. And again, I'm purposely not getting the other ones. If I were getting them, then we'd be super powerful from the get-go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so yeah, we're moving pretty fast now. Oh, it's kind of hard to use that. I have not gotten the power one, so it still takes 5 hits to kill enemies. Oh, nice. Luck potion. Whoops. Huh. It's weird. It's never made the whoops sound. All right. Oh, nice. We got a defense potion. Okay, so now I'm just going to get all of them. And we're going to be very powerful. Yeah, I think we're killing them in 2 hits now. And it'll probably take a lot longer for us to die. Yeah. Yeah, so I just got to be careful about the timing of all this and make sure we don't dole out the power-ups too fast. Because, like, look, I'm moving around like crazy here. And we're killing them in, yeah, 2 hits. And I'm shooting super fast. I think movement speed can even get a little bit faster than this. So let's make that change. Max movement speed, 100. Probably like 50% faster. It's not going to make a change immediately. But yeah, let's go get all these potions. Start blasting like crazy over here. I don't know if we're at max fire rate yet, are we? Fire rate is 17. I think 25 is the fastest. Yeah, well, this is pretty fast. All right, now it takes forever for us to die. You can just stand there on the enemy. All right, what's our luck at? We should be getting some potions from these enemies now. Now we're killing them in 1 hit. Oh, there's a potion. And how much damage do we take? 5. So we can just stand here on this enemy and pretty much not die. Outrun them and kill them. Each time the user takes it, they get 2% increase in sprite size. That sounds like a debuff though, right? All right, this is pretty great. Yeah. I want to rotate the bullet graphics. So this is what I want the game to eventually turn into. You're invincible. You're a killing machine. Everything's dying in pretty much one hit. You're just like mowing down enemies, getting more and more power ups. 0.2%. But still, it sounds like a debuff, right? It just increases your hurt box. Where'd all the polished stuff go? Rotate bullet sprites as you shoot them. Oh, unless by sprite size you meant like the bullet sprite size. That could work. All right, so luck is done. Let's go check this stuff in. Looks good. This is just for debug, to do delete when done debugging. But you get the more stomp AoE you have, new stat or passive attack idea. We don't have an animation for that. And enemies only hurt you by touching you, so I think it'd be a little bit confusing if you just stood there and you could kill them. But also, I think just like easy to understand stats. Because if we say plus power, it's clear like, oh, that must be my gun power, right? But if your size gets bigger, you might be like, did my defense go up? Do I step on enemies? Am I hurting them? So yeah, I think these are pretty understandable and nice. All right, create random upgrade. This is all looking good. The you collected each stat. I mean, we could show this in a debug view maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's a direction I want to go in for this. Because I think the important thing here is that the player should lose. Like, they should understand how upgrades work. Then they should lose. Then they should like kind of try to figure out how to get further in the game. And then eventually, like, there's a trade-off between when they lose and how they feel about it. Because if the game is like, oh, hey, the upgrades are only temporary, some players might be like, well, this is impossible for me then. There's no way I'm going to do this. And then they just quit the game. They would have only played for like 15 minutes. So yeah, I got to think about that. All right. Yeah, looks good. Any other things here? No, this is looking good. Cool. Okay, so add all upgrades. Monsters can now drop potions. Oh, you know what I should do? I should start your luck stat at something higher than 0. Yeah. You should have like a 5% chance for them to drop a potion to begin with. Is that good? Yeah, that's probably pretty good. So then when you get 10 luck, every 6 enemies you kill will drop a potion pretty much. Okie dokes. So I'm not going to do this. I don't think this is a... And this shouldn't matter either. Head first in a broken game. So slowly notice the increase to how negligible it is, and then think the game is breaking until they become big enough for the AoE to take effect. Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm not sure how this will all turn out, but I do think there's a fine line for this particular game of making a player feel frustrated due to difficulty versus realizing, wait a second, I'm killing stuff faster than I was originally. And we need to obfuscate it a little bit, which is why none of these stats are visible stats. Well, some of them are, but none of them are shown on the screen, I mean. So like if your life bar got bigger and then you got a game over and came back and your life bar is still bigger, you'd be like, okay, it's persisting. But if your movement speed got a little bit faster, your fire rate got a little bit faster, you might be like, oh, maybe just that one's bugged, or maybe I'm misremembering what it used to be. So yeah, kind of what I'm debating on. All right, so now add power up spawn text when you get an upgrade saying what it was. Yeah, let's go do that. It does me. Welcome back. Okay, so floating text for this. I want to go make, I mean, it's pretty much just a label. What did we learn from Skeleseller doing this? Floating text. It was actually a node 2D that contained a label. And we did a bunch of other stuff here. Get node cached. Get node cached. Oh man, I haven't been doing that. I should probably start thinking about some of that stuff. And update position. This is based on the camera. We don't need to worry about that. Modulate. Okay, so there wasn't anything too crazy here. We did have a tween for fading it out at the end. So I think we can make this be pretty simple. In fact, we don't even really need a scene for this. I can just do this in here. And this is when you collect the power up. So I guess this top-down shooter that's doing this. Collected. Yeah. All right, so let's go add in a new node, canvas layer. Add child node. Floating, or what am I doing? Control. Floating text node. This should go below everything except for the health label. Probably. Private node, floating text node. Great. All right, now we want to create a floating text thing here. So create floating text. We need the position, which I guess is always going to be the player, which means we don't really need this. Well, I don't know. Let's do it anyway. And then we need the text itself. So upgrade type and a plus sign for right now. And then to do localize this. All right, I don't need to print out the stats. So let's go code this. Okay, so label equals new label. Text equals text. Can we set the global position here? Yeah. All right, then the floating text node should add this. Then we need a tween here. Set process mode physics. Oh, hey, did we mess up anything else with this? I might have added something bad here. No, everything's fine. Yeah. All right, so what do we want to do here? We want to fade this in. Label.fade in. Duration and the existing tween. Duration like 0.25. Existing tween is this. Good. All right, then we want to tween interval. So wait for maybe like a second and then fade it out. Over half a second. And I want to make it rise up a little bit as it's fading in. So label or tween dot parallel dot tween property label. What is this? Is this a node name? It's a node path. Godot node paths dot position. Position plus vector 2 dot up times probably a random number here. Next single times, I don't know, like 20. I'd love to have a float range. Did I not do that? Oh, I did do that. Oh, okay. So 10 to 15, sure. And then the duration of that could be also like 0.25. And then add the new label. Need to cook food. What you making? And I hope you have a good dinner. All right, let's try this out. So now whenever you collect a potion, it should say what you collected. And I don't know if this effect is going to look nice, so let's just see. Oh, that's decent. I want to center it. And maybe I want it to be elastic. Set transition elastic and set ease in out, which I think is the default, right? What is the default ease type? Godot tween default ease type. Default is ease and out. Yeah, so we don't need to set that. All right, what am I missing now? Oh yeah, the centering. Horizontal alignment, center. All right. So how is this feeling now? Okay, the elastic thing is really bad. And it didn't really center it. Yeah, what's going on there? I guess because the anchor is still the upper left. I don't know if there's an easy way to do this. Hello. We could just change the anchor to be the bottom center. Is there an easy way to do that? Yeah, delete this. You ever go the route of allowing the user to customize their colors, knowing that these effects last across games? I think that'd be neat. I think it's a touch risky because you would have picked your colors at the beginning of the entire game. So like if you have a character with red hair and then you're in some random sub game and you get a potion that turns your hair green and you're like, well, what, now it's just permanent? Like, I didn't want that. And I'm not certain I've ever seen another game do that. I think usually you have the option. So there'd be like a dressing room and you could go change your hair there. But I don't know if I've seen it ever just like change your clothing color, your hair color or something. Part of it being broken. I see what you mean. Yeah, I think that's just a step too far from what I'm envisioning. Because part of it is like you have the same identity across these games. And I think that would kind of mess with that identity a little bit. But maybe that is something we explore later. Because I think the game should probably get a little bit more broken as time goes on. Like the architect just kind of gave up. All right, so why is the elastic thing messing up this badly? Maybe we just set, I don't know. Yeah, maybe we set this to cubic or something and just leave it. There was some other problem that I had. Oh, right. Yeah, the label anchor. Anchor preset equals, how do you do this? It's just an integer. Well, how do you? There must be some, why didn't they make an enumeration? Anchor anchor dot. Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to do that. Godot control anchors preset. Does it show up over here if I just click it? Where is it? There's no documentation? Huh, interesting. Well, it's set to center bottom, so we can just save the scene and go look at it, right? Label, anchor preset is 7. Okay, 7. This is center bottom. There's got to be some constant that lets you figure that out, right? Anchor presets. Godot C# anchors preset values. Where do I get the values from? Yeah, exactly. Control.layout preset. Okay, there we go. And there should be bottom center. Yeah. Okay. Now that's a long, so we need to make that an integer. Yeah, this is a little strange. They have enumerations for everything else. Why don't they have an enumeration for this? Huh. All right. Well, time to try again. So now hopefully the text fades in and looks pretty good. Oh, whoops. I left that hello there. Didn't mean for that to be there. No, it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. Also, I think we should probably change the color of the text to match the color of the potion, maybe. All right. Why didn't this work? Maybe because I set the position and then the anchor, or the, like, maybe I need to do this afterward and everything would be fine. Let's try that. It might work. It might need to be in the scene before I do that. I don't know. No, yeah. All right, let's try it down here. Then I gotta take a break. Also, let's delete that hello before I forget. But yeah, coming up on an ad break, so I want to not be here at the computer for that. Whoops, I opened two of these. No, I'm still not getting it to work. Do you have a structure for breaks? I just try to step away from the computer for a bit. I hate the bias. All right, it's time. Break, break, break. It's jump time. Hello, hello. Hey, ABC. Close the game. All right, where do we leave off here? Yeah, I was centering the text, and I think I tested this version, and I didn't get this working still. I'm not totally sure what I'm doing wrong. So if I add a label in, and I say, hi, and I set this anchor to center bottom. Oh, I also need to horizontally align the text. Okay, I didn't realize that. But I don't think that's the only problem here, because I am doing this. I think the problem is something to do with ordering, and I'm not sure. Maybe I should set the anchor after setting the position. So like I do this, and then I do this. Yeah, I'm not certain what's best here. Yeah, maybe it has to be in the scene for that to make sense. No, maybe, okay, I'm gonna try one more thing, but I don't have a lot of hope here. Which is awaiting the next process frame. All right, let's just try this and see what happens. Hey, Sashamara, how you doing? You won. That you did. Huh. Yep, I've got no idea what I'm doing wrong. Well, what we could do is we could examine this inside the scene tree. Just make sure these never disappear. And then go start the game like this. And then just go look at the remote scene once we have one label in. So I just got to find any of these. It does not trigger an enemy to attack me. There we go. Okay. So now we go to remote and we search for the label. It is in here, here, here. Okay. Where? Anchor is at the top left. It didn't even set this. If I set it to center bottom, does it look correct? No. Oh, wait, it's still set to top left. Oh, no matter what I do, it sets it back to top left. That's strange. Oh, that needs to be anchored. Oh my God, really? I gotta change the layout mode here? And we gotta figure out what this even is. Layout preset mode dot anchor. Where is this? What's in here? Min size, keep width, keep height. Shouldn't anchor be one of these things? Huh. I don't know where that comes from. Yeah, I don't see an enumeration here. Begin, end. How's the game going? It's going pretty well, I think. How have you been? I'm trying to figure out how to center a label here. Okay, how did I do this in Skeleseller? I think we had a node for positioning it. And maybe that's what I need to do here. Maybe it's a control and then we put the label as a child of that. So we actually do instantiate a floating text scene. We could even use an animation player for this if we wanted to. And we could even randomize some of the different animations that we have. Yeah, that might be best. Just a little bit of a shame. I think there's some layout mode we have to pick for this, and I just don't know where you find this. Control class doc. Layout. Layout mode isn't even a thing. Well, where does that come from then? It's in control. What? Does mode exist here? Focus mode. Layout preset mode. Is that what this is? No, it's just layout mode. Where is this in the documentation? Layout. Yeah, I don't know. I'm quite confused by this. This is public. It's called layout mode. It's in control. We're on the control. Oh, this is for 4.6. I forgot stable is in 4.7. Okay, that might be a new thing. It's not a new thing. It's not in the documentation. Where did this come from? Godot layout mode. Control node property seems completely undocumented. Well, that's my exact issue. Solved. Internal properties can't have any documentation because they're not real properties. Okay, so I shouldn't be touching this. It's only useful when it's a child of another control that's not a container. Okay. Slow progress. Should have a playable build, not public by end of next month. Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. Do you have an idea of how you're going to identify playtesters? All right, so we can't use this. I think this is a waste of time. I'm just going to make a new thing. We'll just make a floating text scene. Well, this is... There we go. All right, so floating text. And then we add in a label. We need a way of setting this label, which means this thing needs to have a script. It's fine. Scenes, subgames. Well, it is kind of a generic thing. We could use this in multiple. I could put it here. Floating text. Do we need to do anything different in other games? Let's not think about that. For now, let's just put it in the game that it belongs in. Yeah, so this is not the right path. I meant to attach a script. Source, subgames, top-down shooter, floating text. Cool, create. And then save the whole scene as this. Does not like when you do that. Good. All right, and now we can finally get this to work, right? We set this to bottom center and type hello. And it's off in the middle of nowhere. Because this thing has a gigantic size. This should be a tiny size. There. Yay, we did it. All right, then we added an animation player and, whoops, not that. Added an animation player and then do all the stuff that we did in here. So we faded it in, then raised its position, waited a bit, faded it out, and then we need to free it, which I forgot to do from there. So it's a good thing I'm realizing for this. So rise, show, and rise. Something like that. All right, so now add in a property, label, modulate. Probably want to modulate the entire thing. We'll start with this. So we faded in over the course of what? Quarter of a second. I like this well enough. So yeah, let's just stick with this. So go a quarter of a second in, insert key here. Zoom in on this stuff. Set this one to fully invisible. And then what did we do? Over the course of that same amount of time, we raised it up. So get its position. Insert a key there, insert a key there. So wherever it started, we're going to just raise it by some amount. I guess we need a label to be here. Wait, what? Oh, right. So just do something like that. All right, that's pretty good. -35. Friends and Discord people I know, not public. Eventually I'll test on itch, then later Steam. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think as long as you're getting feedback from people that there's really no way you can go wrong. Like, let's say the floodgates were open and you got feedback from like 1,000 people. I think if you knew you'd never get feedback again, that could be a problem because you'd have exhausted your entire pool at first. Because yeah, I generally find that getting feedback from somewhere between like 5 and probably 25 people is pretty reasonable. And then it's just a matter of finding like 5 to 25 people each time you want to test. All right, so what's next here? Now we wait for a quarter of a second. Or no, an entire second. So we'll be at 1.25, which is here. And now we start fading out over the course of half a second. So to 1.75. Now, it's not like these numbers were really carefully chosen or anything, so these might just feel bad. And then we call a function on the whole thing, which is queue_free. And just do this sometime in the future. It doesn't matter when. And then just make sure you can't click any of this stuff. Not that clicking stuff even really matters. Mouse, ignore. Mouse, ignore. All right. So now we go make a floating text in here. So this is going to be floating text. All right, scenes, top-down shooter, floating text. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of this sort of thing that we have to do. Just this is for something so minor in the game, and it's taking a decent amount of time. Did I set the horizontal alignment? No. All right, so floating text dot init with the text, and that's pretty much it. And then just set its position and delete all this stuff. Okay, easy peasy. Get node label text equals text. Almost done. All right, now it should be done. Let's go try it. It might be a little too high up compared to where the player is. Oh, I never played the animation. That would be helpful. There. Yeah. Neat. All right, so now you have some idea of what you're collecting. Oh, that didn't look good. Why didn't that look good? That means that the label isn't being resized correctly. We need to set a grow direction, I believe. Where do you do that? Let me try something here. This is a test of how a long label would look. No, it's growing correctly here. Why didn't it look good in the game? I didn't do anything here. Auto wrap should be off, yeah. Fit content should be on. Is that already on? Clip is off. Huh. Huh. I don't see what's wrong here. It has a size, but it doesn't have, shouldn't be bounded by anything. Use font measures the height of font. Nobody ever noticed it. Yeah, there are a lot of things that I think get taken for granted in game dev by players, and some even just user-facing features, like achievements, for example. You don't just get achievements for free. It's not they're not super hard to add, but you got to spend some time. You got to like localize them all potentially. Yeah, these aren't centered at all. What's going on? Right, I didn't realize none of them are centered. It's not even just the long words. Why is that going wrong? Let's try just instantiating it into the scene and seeing what happens here. So floating text. Oh, right. Its position needs to be set to exactly that of the players. 123. Can we just copy this? Wait a second. That's not doing anything. I know it doesn't have a control. Oh, wait, there it is. I'm looking at the wrong thing. And that's not in the right spot at all. All right, there we go. Yeah, sure. All right, so that's fine. But if I set this to editable children and I change this plus longer text, yeah, it still works fine over here. It's not working fine on my actual scene. Hey, McNuts. Hey, Campbell Soup. They look so good. Very happy with them. Yeah, I think achievements add a decent amount. I was playing that Vampire Crawlers game and I was getting like a ton of achievements for basic stuff. I know that some developers use achievements for metrics. It's an easy way of figuring out like, okay, of the people who bought your game, how many people even beat the first level or got a power up or something like that. Like where's the drop off happening? I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Add this, I initialize it. Then I set its position. Maybe we set the position first. It shouldn't matter. Yeah, it just shouldn't matter. And this doesn't need to be async anymore. Patootie. All right, that's pretty funny. Thank you for the resub, Patootie. Hope you're doing well. We are trying to work on just this floating text in the game, and it's just not positioned correctly. And I just still don't know what I'm doing wrong. Auth incident per their status page could explain your woes from earlier. Really? Hmm. API requests? Authentication issues related to API requests. Okay. I guess I'll write that down because I wrote something down over here. I think this was actually due to GitHub API issues. So check their status page. In the meantime, I restarted my terminal emulator and everything worked. It also may have been this issue. Maybe it was partially this issue. Okay. Where's the description? Yeah, here it is. Impacting approximately 15% of API traffic. So I just did it several times and ended up working. All right, well, it's resolved. Consider anchoring the text. I need to. I don't want it to float away. Player won't be able to see it anymore. All right. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. How did we get this working in Skeleseller? Because I don't think this was anything too complex. Sure, whatever. I'm not gonna go get 4.6 again. Also not gonna check this in. Loading text. There's literally just a node 2D and a label. There's like nothing else we even did here. And what did we set the anchor to? Center. Yeah, that's probably more reasonable than bottom center. But it's not a y-axis problem we're even having. It's an x-axis problem. So sure, set this to center. Maybe we also have to set this to center. Should be the center of the... I don't know. Let's just do that. Yeah, I don't have any idea. funny. The kinds of things I'm getting stuck on sometimes are just not issues I'd expect. All right, this is silly. Let's go do something else here. Let's put, do we have a process in here? No, we don't. Okay, let's go override a physics process. And we'll just do if random shared percent chance 0.05, then create floating text player dot global position, and the text will just say test, or like test long string test. Yeah, so now I don't need to move at all. I can just start the game, and we'll probably see this thing look messed up. Yeah. And I just don't get what I might be doing wrong. Maybe having it be a child of a floating text is a problem. Like maybe I should just change this to a node 2D because it is in world space. And then we hit play here. The center anchor won't do anything then. What happened? Yeah, what happened? Control? This should have just been node because we don't care what this is. Fail to build. Oh, it's got to be node 2D. Right, because nodes don't have positions. It's still not working. What else is even the difference? This should be so simple. All right, let's look at everything here. I changed the texture filter. BB code is not on a regular label. Fit content isn't needed for this. Scroll active. Auto wrap is off. Horizontal alignment set to center. Pretty sure I have that. Yeah. All right, none of that stuff has changed. Layout did change here. Maximum size is set to -1, -1. Yep. Clip content. Anchor preset. It does have a size. I mean, maybe that has something to do with this. Oh, this is at a shrink center. Okay. I mean, that also shouldn't matter, I think. And horizontal, we should be able to just set to expand. It's not even in a container, though. So I don't think this should matter either. Yeah, I don't see any issues. Hey, Jesta. Learned something from AI today. I want to see if you're aware of it. Maybe I was just imagining the structure incorrectly. You have a generic class and you declare some static derived classes as fields in the base class. Strategy pattern reason. Those static fields are generated for each type used as the generic type. You know, they were mapped separately for each closed generic type. I think I need to see this in a gist or something. Because I'm not sure if I'm aware or not just from the description. But it's cool that you learned this. And hello. Yeah, I can't figure out the difference. The only other thing it could be is a script difference, I guess. We set its position. The other thing that could be going wrong is it could be the animation player. Like maybe if I turn this off, oh man, that'd be sad because that means I was looking in the wrong place this entire time. Yes, it is that. Wow. What a waste of my time. That's where I now realize it's all clicking that we have a number in here. Where is it? Here. This has a value of -20. I don't know why that was there. Oh, how stupid. How absolutely stupid. All right, that was a waste of time. So now everything should just look fine. Well, now it's off to the side. I guess we do need to only change its y coordinate. And I think you can do this, label position : y. And now these are vectors. We got to change how this is even laid out. Yeah, wow, what a waste. What a waste of time. So this should be 0, and then here it should be like -15 or something. Let's try that. He's drawn. All right, how's that? That's pretty good. Now it is coming out of the like the bottom of the character there. So I think we start this at -15 and maybe have it go to -30. It might have just changed automatically, but I'm still going to rerun it. Yeah. Now, strangely, we have this floating text that can be deleted. And that's that. Everything should look good. Let's tone this down for now and then just go collect some power-ups. Bunch of wasted time spent on some floating text. But what are you going to do? All right, so we obviously need these strings to be a little bit better. But yeah, they are working. Game over. But wait until I collect all of the power-ups. Then what are you going to do, enemies? Huh? Huh? All right, now we should be able to murder these dudes. Yeah. Yeah, take that. I got another power-up. How long does it take for me to die now? I take 10 per hit, so I can just run around. Are we killing them in one hit now? Yeah. I wonder where, should we even have invincibility frames? Maybe not. Huh. All right, so now we're cruising. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the speed that the character moves at. And yeah, we're taking hardly any damage. It's 3 per hit. All right, so let's kill 3 of these guys. Oops, kill them all. Can't restart now. The enemies have to be on top of the character to damage? Yeah, they do. So at first, my goal is to make it so that like the first couple of enemies will do a lot of damage to you, but you'll probably still be able to kill them. And then you'll just get swarmed and die. And you'll have to come back and get another couple power-ups. All right, so we have a localize this somewhere. Where is the somewhere? Yeah, here. So each upgrade needs to know what string it should be. So I think we'll just do it this way. String text equals, well, nothing at first. Text equals tr top down upgrade power. Maybe just upgrade power. Upgrade or like floating text upgrade power. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. All right, so let's do this for all of them. Defense, movement speed, fire rate, luck. Let me just put text here. Now it is localized. And then we could just set this to, oh, we could just have a default here that throws an error. Throw new illegal arguments. Cool. Can it do this for me? Yuck. I don't care about this. Let's just do not implemented exception. Yeah. All right. So now we got to go generate the localizations. Localizations. And then I got to go type in all the English for this. Should be very easy. Cool. So it is in scripts.po, and we need to make sure we're modifying the English, which is here, yeah. All right, floating text. Yeah, so get rid of fuzzy on all of these. And then just fill them in. Plus power, plus defense, plus movement speed, plus, should we call this fire rate? Shooting speed? I don't know, whatever. Plus luck. Easy. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now whenever you collect something like movement speed or fire rate, instead of showing as one word, it should be multiple. Yeah, there we go. And the plus should be there, yep. My God, the character's so slow when they start out. Yeah, yeah. We probably need to make the game over screen a little faster because you're going to be seeing it quite a lot. Oh, that broke. Can't change the state while flushing queries. Can't change what state? Create random upgrade, line 70. Because we're inside of a call to on monster died for overlapping bodies. That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. Well, invoking died is probably fine. Oh, I think calling it deferred is also fine. So callable dot from call deferred. This is probably not the smartest way of doing this though. Let me look at this again. On monster died, create random upgrade. Yeah. I think the creating random upgrade part should probably be the part that we call deferred. Take damage is called from body entered damage area. And what does this thing say again? Can't change the state while flushing queries. Area set shape disabled. Set shape disabled. We do this here. It should call deferred in such a way that it doesn't actually change anything, right? Like I'm not totally sure I understand this part. Set shape disabled. We're not actually setting this disabled, right? Line 70. Hang on, let me see. We're instantiating an upgrade here. Upgrades have an area. I guess the area is something that you would have entered immediately, pretty much. I wonder if that's the problem. No, I don't know. I'm sure we can fix this with just a call deferred. I'm not totally sure I understand the problem. All right, well, let's search for this. Can't change the size, type, and whether collision shape is active or not directly. Where is this happening from exactly? It's happening from native code. Because the only thing I'm doing on line 70 is adding it to the scene. I'm not modifying this stuff. And it's not like it's calling into my code and ready. And this doesn't happen from a tween, right? Yeah, what's the rest of this call stack? Body entered damage area, take damage. This is most died. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get it. All right, I'm gonna ask AI about this. So I'm getting this error. Yeah, laconic. I see that this is because of add child and that I need to defer the call, but I want to understand why. So plan, I click. Yeah, like, am I supposed to be doing this on every time I add a child? Or is it only when there's area 2D? Because I haven't had to do this before as far as I know, and I want to find out why this is here. And maybe it would be helpful for me to look at what their code is doing in the native call that they have here. So I'd have to go look at the C++ side of things. Because, yeah, we can see it where it broke in C++ here. Godot physics server line 354. I mean, let's go take a look at that while we're waiting for this. So code, Godot physics server, line, what was it? 354. Yeah, flush query check. Huh. Okay. All right, important bit is that add child is not just changing the scene tree here. In this path, body entered signal fires from Godot's physics query flush. Your handler then calls take damage, which invokes died. While monster died, creates an upgrade, adds child, creates an area 2D with a collision shape. When that scene enters the tree, it has to register or enable. Okay, I see. So it's any place we would have had an area 2D here. Okay, yeah. So it's concurrent modification of their physics system. All right, so let's go put this into something over here. I don't know, Godot engine. I'll put it in the troubleshooting section. Can't change this state while flushing queries. All right. Here's an example of the full error. In my case, this was happening because I was inside of a body entered check, right? Where is that? Monster, I think. Takes damage. Yeah. Just from here. And this is in area 2D? Yeah. Okay. This is happening because I was calling add child on a node with an area 2D from within an area 2D body entered callback already. Godot is essentially saying that you're modifying the list that they're iterating over. The fix is exactly as they suggest. Defer the call to add child. All right, cool. I understand. So go back to our code that we had here and do a callable dot from call deferred. Defer this call so that we don't cause issues in Godot. as a result of calling this from collision code. Alternatively, just change the on monster died bit here. We could defer, honestly, any part of this. But yeah, this should fix it. I don't know which one is the most obvious one to defer to have it be fixed. All right, so I'm going to get all my power-ups again. I'm going to just then die and then get more power-ups and then die again. You know what we could do is make the game over screen faster each time, because you'll get used to seeing it and then you don't need to see it anymore. Oh, weird. Oh, I don't have a death animation. That's why. I guess it's possible to kill the enemy and die at the same time. But that's probably like a frame perfect thing you have to do. Hey, nice. We got another potion. All right, so I want there to just be like a swarm of enemies at the end so I can test this out, which means that the real game should have that at some point. Yeah, like we got some. Shooting and walking like this is a little bit weird. I'd probably want a strafe button. I wonder what my luck stat is. There should be an enemy over here somewhere. Yeah. So we can still die. But we only get stronger every time. Take this. Oh, wow. And our luck stat's going up. So we're finding more of these upgrades. Fun. Yeah, when you're walking exactly right. No, am I walking right? How's that working? Interesting. Is there an enemy over here? Yeah. So we can try one more time. All right. Yeah, they need to be some like super powerful enemies too. And I think having them drop multiple potions could be kind of cool. In fact, actually, maybe that's the bulk of where you get the drops from. Is what I was saying. I just want to like play this out and see what happens here. But I think it would be a good idea to have most enemies drop at least one upgrade and have upgrades be relatively incremental. This one would be your favorite. It's not going to be very long though. That's the thing. And you know what the gimmick is. If you're a new player here and you're like, oh yeah, this is just a game and it's impossibly hard, you probably would not find it very fun. So I got to be careful about this. Of a skeletal nature. Yes, exactly. Appear randomly. He's rotating around the map and eventually disappearing. Yeah, so that's something I gotta be careful about because there's a story implication to that. So like agents are agents because they like the game that they're in. So like Tutorial Man just likes messing with people in the farming game. If he showed up in another game, it means that he knows about transporting between worlds and does that from time to time. It's possible that he does that. You could see him later. He could be like, yeah, I was just bored in the farming game. Figured I'd come over here. Saw you guys take the portal. I could write it down as an idea. Maybe Tutorial Man gets bored in the farming game at some point and takes the portal in the community center. Another idea. Maybe Tutorial Man is a final boss. Very silly. All right, yeah, I want this. I want to keep working through this. So we've done this. Let's go check this in. So we added in floating text. Oh, this callable thing is a separate fix. So we should just check that in on its own, I think. fix issue with monsters dropping potions. I had gotten, what is the error? Can't change the state. A Godot error saying this. So we had to defer the call to adding the potion. There we go. All right, now what else did we change here? Text, yep, text, yep. This isn't needed. Text. It should all be text changes. Yep, great. Hate it. Hate that all the line numbers change, but nah. Yeah, looks pretty good. Cool, cool, cool. All right, add floating text to top-down shooter. All right, good idea to have most enemies drop. Okay, let's do this for the fun check. What do we still need? We need the world. This is done. Monsters need to learn how to pathfind. All right, so yeah, we can pretty much spend the entire afternoon, and it's not so weird. I've been starting my stream earlier, so I get hungry earlier, so I keep feeling like, oh yeah, it's almost noon, but it's only 11. Anyway, when we finally get to the afternoon stream, I think we can focus on just how do we make the game more fun and start iterating in that direction. And from that point of view, I think this would be kind of neat. We have some graphics in this sprite sheet. Sorry, this always takes me a while to find. Dungeon. Yeah, here we go. We have some graphics in here for crates. I think we should go with that original idea that I had of every time you restart, there are some crates and you shoot it a few times and it breaks open into some potions. And that's how you have to start every run. Like the crates have collision, you can't walk past them. There's just no leaving this room until you break them. So you'll learn that you can break them, you'll learn that you can move and shoot, and you'll learn that you get upgrades. And then every run you start, you are forced to get upgrades. And then enemies can drop upgrades. So yeah, what should we do for the world? So option one is like have a pre-made world that you progress through with harder and harder enemies. Option two is we divide the world into screens, which could still involve scrolling. Then procedurally generate a series of screens. As you go through, monsters could still get tougher or more numerous. Option three is we procedurally generate a connected world. I don't really want to do this route. I don't like this. So I think some randomness would be good. The problem I have is that I don't know how we'd make rooms out of this exactly. What I was picturing is there'd be a staircase or something that you descend and it puts you in just another one of these kinds of rooms. And the room's bounds are just the screen. So you're like descending down this dungeon. But we don't really have a graphic for that. Yeah, we don't really have a graphic for that. But I guess what we could do is we could just... We have a door graphic, right? Yeah, we have that door graphic. Do we have one for the side? We kind of need to be on the side because the screen is wider than it is tall. There's a door going up. All right, let's just look at the sprite sheet. I don't see any doors. No, there are no doors there. They have a separate door thing. Go find that. Downloads, the dungeon, doors, door 1, 2, and 3, single, double, front, side, facade. Here we go. What? How is that a side door? Oh, I see. Yeah, so here's what I'm picturing now. And I think this is what we probably try to do in the afternoon. So we draw out, and I'm really bad at this, so just bear with me. We draw something like this, this is one given room. So this might be like room number 1. And we have a door open out here. And then you go to another screen. So we just manually make each screen. And screen 0 is always going to be the one with barrels here on the side or crates or whatever. So this would be like the upgrade one. And yeah, so you'll always progress just from left to right. The rooms will change though as you do this, and we'll make like, I don't know, 7 or 8 rooms maybe, or just however many. They shouldn't really be that hard to make. And then we just plop in some enemies. Okay, yeah, I like that idea. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make a series of rooms connected via the same, like via a door on the right side of each one. The first room should always be the crate room. Allow for transitioning between rooms. It could scroll the screen, like in the original Zelda. What else? So yeah, so now we need to figure out what we're doing for monsters. Now, what about monsters? Generators or no? So if we have generators, then monsters probably can't drop potions anymore, or else you could farm them for potions. Alternatively, we just don't let generated monsters continue to drop them after some time. Yeah, what I'm a little bit concerned about. So like, let's say this was one of our rooms that we have here. I know I have some monsters off screen, so let's put them on screen. And we can only fit so much. It's this very faint blue rectangle that you can probably hardly see here. So like, even if we put all of these into that blue rectangle, there's just not a lot of space on the screen. Put that one up there. The rest of these all fit. So yeah, we hit play now. So this could be one of the rooms. I mean, there's nothing in this room. It's not that interesting. Now, the other problem here is like the way you would tackle this room, you just stand far away and shoot them all to death, right? So you probably need to make them like really tanky. Like this one might kill me. Yeah. But that's just because I approached it stupidly. But maybe they have like some chain aggro range so that if you shot the first one, it would actually awaken all of the ones around it and they'd all swarm you. Because yeah, otherwise you just do this in pretty much every room. The game wouldn't be very difficult. Which is why I do think enemies need to like appear from places probably. Hey, test user. Skeleton Seller went well. Yeah. And there'll still be more sales. I think more people will probably buy it. I'm going to lower the price in July. We've been working on a new game. And let me see. Yeah, you were here at the beginning, I think, of the new game. So you probably know the general gist of it. But happy to cover it again if you want to know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this. Well, let's look at the sprite sheets. Maybe there's something else we could do with them. Like there are some traps here. There's no puzzles or anything, right? Yeah, like at best, I think there's a treasure chest. Oh, that's kind of a cool way of doing things. I'm gonna copy the image address here. Or maybe I can't do that. Let's just copy the whole image. Let's just put a thing in here for polish. It may be nice to have potions float above the ground, like in, what is that, like picture number 5 on this page. They could have a shadow. They'd be like fog of war, so you don't see enemies far away. We could do that, but what I'm concerned with is that you'd still just shoot off into the distance before ever traveling there, so that even though there's fog, like your bullets still shoot through it. Gonna work more on Skeleton? No, I'm just working on the new game now. Yeah. Yeah. So if you couldn't see over here, I think you still just blast your way over there first. Let's get all these movement speed ones. Oh, I died even though that enemy was dead. That's not good. That's a small bug though. That should be easy to fix. Bug. Enemies can hurt you even when they're dead. We need to turn off their... Wait, don't we do that? We turn off monitoring. Where do we do this? Enter state. If state equals dying, defer turning off this stuff. Huh. You must be colliding with some other part of them. Maybe you're colliding with their movement area instead of just their damage area. Maybe if they're out of your vision, they don't take damage. You can only deal damage up to one screen away. Yeah. So we could do this. There could be some like light field around the player. We could even kind of simulate this a little bit. I mean, I did this in the architect realm. The way I did this here was by having a canvas modulate. I guess we just have a directional light that subtracts. We could try this out quickly. Directional light, subtract. And then on the player, put a point light. And give it a gradient. Circular, radial. Yeah, move this here. Change the gradient itself. Shrink that inwards. We get a nice circle. Okay, so there's your light. Now how do we increase the range? No, that's not what I want. Texture scale. Yeah, so we can do something like that. This is just a quick mock-up of this. Oh, well, we gotta... guess we need to modulate the whole world. Yeah, we can't just have a negative light. Canvas, modulate. That turn off the directional light. Does that work? Still play here and there? Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'll show you what the new game's about in a little bit. Oh, no, I know what's happening. It's that the clear color is being used there, so I just don't have world there. All right, so then in order to make that not look so stupid, we need to fill out the rest of this. I can't see anything now. I still can't see anything. Oh, that's why I can't see anything. So was this a terrain? I think it was a terrain. So I can just fill this in, right? Yeah. All right, so let's just draw a giant rectangle. There. And now let's turn this stuff back on and this back on. Although which is better for this? I guess they're both the same effect. Let's try this one just to see. I mean, it's a little too dark. It also looks a little bit pixelated. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess if you know where the monster positions are, this would become a lot easier. Although that might be part of the fun of the game. Like I'm presumably killing some stuff. Yeah, I think lighting could help with this. Especially if there are obstacles in front of the monsters. I think if we want to improve this, we got to increase the size of this gradient to be like 200 by 200. And then change the texture scale back down to something like this. We could actually put in a couple of these lights. Well, we could do some different things here. But yeah, I think this is a little too dark. If we increase the energy, we'll like wash out everything. Maybe our directional light doesn't fully subtract from the scene. Like we do this, so it's just dark. Oh no, that looks bad. Also goes to show me that I cannot have the radius this large. Do we still see that square effect though? Because we shouldn't, right? No, now we don't, yeah. All right, no, being able to see them I think is a problem ahead of time if we're gonna go this route. Wait, am I killing them in 3 hits now? Yes, I think their feet are hurting me. They have a movement node. Yeah, being able to see them at all is a bad idea. We'd have to set this back to 1. We have mix. What does that do? I'm not sure how I feel about the lighting thing. Maybe if we just make the range of the light even bigger. Even like that might be decent. Because I don't want it to be totally hidden from you. It's too dark. It's just too dark. And I guess it's because of how this drop off works here. So I'd have to change the energy value a little bit. Yeah, and then probably tone down the range a little bit too. Okay, that might be okay. Now they're washed out. Can we just make the gradient? We could add another point in the middle here. Yeah, that's still pretty light. Yeah, something like that. If I set this to full white here, this should be the normal color of the game. It's hard to tell. Yeah. Other sources of light I think would also probably be good if I go this route. I'm still debating on whether I even want to go this route. Still seeing this effect on here that I don't like. Maybe if I said it's 300 by 300. No, I think it's just how this gradient's going to work. Oh, sorry. I didn't actually tell you about the game. Sorry. Yeah, let me show you. So it's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. Every game that you're in within this is its own like standalone game. So this is the first one that you got, and it's a platformer. It's teaching you some basic stuff about jumping, about dashing, and you work your way over here. You get to this point, it zooms out, try to collect the diamonds in one go. This is an impossible task. And your first instance of the game being very broken is you fall through the world. I just love this idea. So now you're here in the spooky place, still in a platformer. And you work your way over to this. And you'll notice a character because we do not have a custom sprite yet. And yeah, now you're in a farming game. You wake up in Skull Cellar? Maybe eventually, but yeah, not here. Yeah, so this is kind of the structure of the game. There are going to be some games for story like this one, and there are going to be some games for just fun. This is not one of the fun games because a farming game is really hard to make fun in like 3 minutes. It'd have to be a mini game pretty much. So yeah, you can plant seeds and stuff, but you don't really have to. You can water them. There are a lot of mechanics that were coded for this, even though you don't use half of them. They're just like set pieces. So yeah, anyway, eventually you get tired. I will deplete my energy here and you go to bed. And you go outside. And they say, I haven't seen you in ages. I see that you really like strawberries. So your farm is overgrown with strawberries. And yeah, you start working through your game. Wrote all this in 33 or 43 days. Yeah. I made the music for this too. Pretty happy with the music for the farming game. I think it's nice. So let's speed this up. So you work your way over to here. You talk to these NPCs, and someone comes out of their house and sees you, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're different. Like you can actually talk and think, and they can also think." So you ask them questions, and they pick the answer. So like my hand's on the controller, they're choosing their own answer, and they respond to you. And you know ask them more questions about like how'd you get here and stuff. And again, they choose their own answer. So let's skip this. You throw your strawberries into these little trash cans here. And they lead you into the community center. Where there are a couple of levers. I'll speed this up. And we go through this portal. We end up in the current game that we're working on. Hope your game dev is going better than mine moving. Oh man. Well, the game dev is going pretty well. Is some of the art placeholder? Yeah, some of it is, but honestly, not a lot of it is. We just need to make the character look the same in the different games. So yeah, this is what I'm working on now. We don't have sound effects or anything. Yeah, I'm pretty happy that this is coming along. Yeah, it's got to be that movement thing that I did. I think some amount of scrolling the screen would be worthwhile. Do you have a team? Yeah. It's pretty much the same people as who worked on Skeleseller. The nice thing about making a game like this is, you know, if you ever go to itch and you look at game assets, and we just go to any random one of these, like this one. So you look at this and you start thinking about like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can kind of see where a game would go with this. And okay, yeah, I got a playground and a basketball court, and it looks like there's a hamburger sprite or whatever. You very quickly realize like, wait, this is not going to be a full game. Like, what am I going to do with this? Like, what are you interacting with? You could imagine this being like a Pokemon town, for example. But then like, okay, where are the Pokemon? Where are the attack animations? Where's the UI for this stuff? So almost any asset pack you get on its own doesn't really have enough for a game. You find some like this. Actually, farming games are the most common where you find them, I think, where it's like they drew almost everything. So yeah, here you do probably have a full game's worth of assets. And some of these other ones too. There was some, what is that called? I forgot the name of it. I think it starts with an E. I wonder if I'll see it here really quickly. I don't see it. Oh, these look pretty cool. Oh, very neat. I will write this down. Cool free asset pack. Anyway, yeah, so some of these are complete, but a lot of times they aren't. With this game, we don't really need them to be complete. We can make a game around the asset pack. So for example, we got this asset pack here. I don't think you could just use this and make a game. You've got some potions, some keys, some traps that are here. some doors, but like there aren't enemies, there aren't attacks. There's a character that you can move around, but they don't really have a lot of animations. So like, yeah, we're gonna build this up. Adam Adler's live, Adam on the weekend. Something I just realized is they have a potion like shine effect. Where is that coming from? Is that over here and I just never noticed it? No, it's not. I think it's in a custom location in here. Items, potions. Yeah, each one of these has its own. Oh, they even have the floating thing. Okay, maybe we should just use that. Yeah, we probably should. I'll just copy a link to this. Shadow. This is actually built into the sprite sheet along with a shine effect. Yeah. Having only watched you stream yourself. Yeah, Kevin streamed a couple of times, but I don't think he worked on Skeleseller on those streams. But I don't think Dark will probably ever stream from what I know about him. And maybe Quickie Joe might. But yeah. So I'm still, this is one of the things that I think is a little bit tough about game dev sometimes. It's easy to get lost in the sauce here. Like we've been working on this top-down shooter now for like 2 to 2.5 days. And it's not fun yet. And I see how much work there is to get it to be up like a polished, complete game. So I think any of these games, even of this size, would take like a month to make it look really, really good. And I don't think we wanted to make it look really, really good. I think we wanted to make it look good enough. So maybe we spend like 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks or something. But it's all really for the sake of maybe 5 or 10 minutes of gameplay. And then it's not until I show everything I've done already where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is for a cohesive piece of art, I feel. All right, so I think what I've determined from doing this is I think these rooms that we make should be horizontally scrolling. Maybe they should scroll in both directions. I don't know. I don't want all the rooms to just be like rectangles. But I guess I just need a connection off of the side. Hmm. I'm going to die here. Fresh having such change-ups. Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be neat. I mean, there have only been a few playtesters so far, but they seem to have generally liked the idea. I think if we're going to do this, that we would need to probably increase the amount of light in the scene as part of the potions. But yeah, I'm still not certain about even changing the light like this. Or if we do, making it even more generous in terms of how much you can see at a time. Like maybe we change the fall off to be... how do I want to do this? Oh, that looks a lot better. Oh my God. Yeah, something like that. Maybe we don't have this be totally, yeah, I guess it already isn't white. And maybe make one other little drop off point here and raise that a bit too. All right, take care, test user. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Hmm. Man, movement speed is so important. Yeah, original problem is players shooting the monster from far away. Maybe make bullets have a max travel distance. Yeah, that could also work. I wonder if we should make that a different power up. Because I'm torn about having lighting like this in a game. I think we should probably hold off on that for a little bit. Do we want to limit how much of the room the player can see or interact with? We could have a light around the player. We could limit how far bullets can travel. Also actionable. The start experiencing gravity. I mean, then you could shoot an enemy that's like down here by shooting to the right. We could also do both of these things. We could have it so that you can only see so far away, and that generally coincides with how far your bullets go. So that if I were moving and shooting, you would actually see the bullets disappear at some point. So I think one of the questions I have, again, this is like a post-lunch thing, but should you be able to scroll up and down? I think I want to make it clear that your objective is to the right. So I don't want you to have to wander. And all the doors are always going to be off the right. So I think that having you scroll, if you can scroll, it would be like just a little bit of up and down. Yeah, I think that could work. Okay, that might take most of the afternoon, actually. Where did I write this down? Where did I write this down? Here it is. Progression boss. Make a series of rooms. Okay, so each room can be a little taller than the screen and can be as wide as we want. We'll have scrolling. I don't want much vertical scrolling, though, because I always want the next connection to be off the right side. There should be crates with free power-ups for people to find in the rooms, though, especially if they're struggling. Yeah. Bullets fade to the edge of player's light circle, which can be increased. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how I feel about the player increasing their light or their bullet distance, but I want to try that out. I think that's part of what we'll find out when we do the fun check. Because like it wasn't that hard for me to go prototype this lighting. So yeah, we'll mess around with that, I think, in the afternoon. Yeah, if we do add lighting, we should add torches. Yeah, we should add torches at the very least. Godot point light 2D. What's the limit on these again? How many can you have? Oh, 16 per object. What does that mean? What does that mean? What is this video showing an invisible scene? So I don't think they needed a video for this. Or is this just is this just my video player not working? So funny to me. Oh my god. All right, each bullet has lights as a child. When I have enemies do burst shots, it appears to disable lighting only within a specific rectangular area. Where is that area? I don't think we'll hit that problem in this game. So I guess we can have kind of as many lights as we need, right? Hey, Calendar changed their picture. Darker area that ends in the middle. Oh yeah. I thought that was just a tile set. Interesting. Also, bullets could fake lighting by having an additive blend sprite around them. It's actually a really cool idea. Yeah. All right. Well, this is turning out to be interesting. Yeah, very interesting. All right, I'm gonna go eat lunch. And then when I come back, yeah, I want to do all the world progression stuff. And then what do we do after world progression stuff? We're just gonna put enemies into rooms, I guess. Excuse me. Because yeah, I want to make sure the rooms are difficult enough. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah. All right. I'll be back in about an hour, maybe a little longer. I've liked taking longer lunch breaks lately. I don't know why. But yeah, it's about 11:30. So I'll go get some food. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully this afternoon we'll get, more of the game fleshed out too. It's shaping up to be good. So yeah, take care everyone. See ya.